everybody. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm so tall. So tall. There we go. Welcome. Glad you guys are here. Hope you are well. Shooting for the magic 45. There it is. No, there it is. Perfect. Current theories, I caught it from my father-in-law when they came to visit a couple weeks ago. Oh, wasn't that nice? Sharing among the family. I mean, that's a good thing. But I hear that. Sigh, 5-stream streak. Ah, that's too bad. What's up, dudes? Good to see you, Gamer Night. Welcome. Hello, Blanco. What's up, Arcone? Oh, I know what's up with you. Yo, Beardsley. Yo, Swag, what up? And Ukulele shoot you. Poor Ransom on 5 attends like 99.999% of the streams, but the proof is not in the pudding. The pudding is in fact only 5. Another day at work. Woot woot. Better to have work than not have work. I'll tell you that. It is a blessing to have the work. Though sometimes we're not necessarily super thrilled with the work, but you know what? It's better to have it than not. Today we're going to be doing something different. I put in my weekly plan that we were going to talk about how to like move from digital to IRL relationship, but I went and read the notes and it was like, yeah, this is not really worth a talk. This is more of a read this article and then get it over with, because it's nothing you guys don't know. You know, it's pretty straightforward. Go to stuff. Don't overshare. Have boundaries. Like, it's not really that big a deal. And then when I was sent the video yesterday by Girk, I'm like, this is really interesting. And so I thought maybe you guys would find it interesting too. And we can all talk about it. I shared the notes, so the notes are there. We're gonna watch the video together. It occurs to me that would probably be better, so that we can all be on the same page. In case you are, yeah. Did you watch it? Maybe I don't need to watch it all together. How many people did watch it? Maybe we should watch it twice. Yo, thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Good for you doing your homework. See, if you're doing your stream homework, then you know that you're a teacher's pet. You can be the streamer's pet. Beardsley's the teacher's streamer's pet. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that very much, and for the support. Today has been an interesting day. Got some good news, got some weird news, and it's been an interesting day. And I've only just started. The days have been starting earlier because I had to get up for to wake my daughter and take her to school and whatnot, and haven't been doing that. She's been walking the whole time, but she's like, Dad, I gotta get there, so you gotta help me. And I'm like, okay, I will. Plus I gotta get up early, but it's like I've been not doing enough with my time. I get up at like 7:30 in the morning, you know, have my breakfast, drink coffee, get the kid off, come back home. It's like 8:05, and I'm like, all right, now what? And I'm just not ready for it. You know what I mean? I just don't have it ready. And so therefore I'm like kind of tooling around, and I want to do this, and then I sit down at my computer and it's like, I don't know, I get all the inspiration to do stuff, and then I've only got like an hour left. It's just, I'll get it back. I'll get back into it. Don't worry about it. I'll get back into it next week. I got a week. It's fine. Didn't ask for this. That's okay. It's a compliment. Oh, really? Oh, I appreciate that, man. That's super cool. It's so hard to know what to post on there. I'm doing my best to try to keep it consistent, or at least something. But then it's like, where's your gaming videos? Someone says, and I'm like, I got rid of them because I didn't think anybody wanted them, and it didn't match my channel. So and it's like, oh, okay. It's okay. So I don't know what I'm doing. That's all that to say. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying my best, and I still don't know what I'm doing. As I said yesterday, this personal development, spiritual development path that I'm on right now, a big part of it is rediscovering sort of who I am and who I'm okay with, which is what this conversation is going to be today. Having this video and this conversation about what kind of gamer you are really gave me some insight into what kind of streamer I are and what kind of parent I am, things like that. And so I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Let's explore this. Let's use this as a jumping off point to kind of see where we're at. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway. That's the thing. I should know what I'm doing. It's not like I don't have enough post-it notes telling me, or like a calendar or a list of things, or 4 years of experience doing the same thing every single day. Like, shouldn't be that hard, but apparently I'm making it harder than it needs to be. Makes me look cool how I am with everything, not just games, just everything, right? Yeah, exactly. That isn't that nice when you're just cool at all things? I wouldn't know. There are people who are like that, though. I've known a couple in my life. They just, no matter what they do, they're just good at it and look cool doing it. All right, let's tell you what, let's jump into it. We got a lot of places to go today. So We're gonna start by looking at this video. We're gonna watch it together. I may pause along the way and interrupt it, but we'll see. And then we'll jump into kind of a talk about it as we go along here. I'm not making a YouTube video, so we can take it easy as we want to go. And then I'm going to be hopefully get into Destiny a little bit because I got some stuff I want to do. And then I have a meeting at 3 with the taco trainees. If you didn't know, we're in the middle of a class. We'll tail into the class for taco trainees. And I said that I'd show up once a month, and this is not once a month, but I am showing up today for 3 o'clock just to talk to them, see what's going on, and what are they missing, what are they enjoying, do they need any help, is there any way I can do anything, things like that. And it's just for them. I tell you because that means I'm going to be ending early. That's the way it is. I'm excited. We are going to be as we kind of plan through things. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been trying to post a video or two on the old Discord and try to engage more there and connect with folks, and it's been, I don't know, it's I really have just kind of decided that the inside crowd is you guys, and building on Twitter and all that stuff isn't going to happen with my I guess community stuff. Let's just do it with the community. And I've got shorts now on all the platforms, thanks to AI and Samus, and so therefore I don't have to worry about that. So I can concentrate on you guys. That's what I want to do. So let's get this thing going, and feel free to interrupt if you want to talk about something else. You got some kind of emergency in your life or whatever. I'm happy to be interrupted. But in the meantime, let's do this. Yeah, this one. Yeah, that one. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. Oh, ooh la la. Does he have it set up or what? Golly. Okay. Let's pause that obnoxious mess and get into this. If you don't know what we're talking about, this is a video about what kind of gamer you are, but I honestly think it's going to expand past that. For me anyway, it had me really thinking about a lot of stuff in my life and how I perceive things. Morning worship is a great way to start the day. So my pattern right now is I wake up and I get my coffee and I go read my morning devo, and that's been really cool. French toast, a morning devo, and a coffee. Come on. Doesn't get better than that. Epic, cool, and high energy. Yeah. Well, I mean, some people would find that obnoxious. So yeah, it's all good. I didn't mind it while I was listening to it, so it can't be that bad. Okay, I'm going to turn this up. You guys tell me if it's too loud, and then I'll try to adjust. French toast while worshiping, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
What you're looking at is a video where someone is using just Tifa to beat arguably the hardest boss in Final Fantasy Rebirth. A feat I couldn't do with the full party, let alone take no damage. Oh yeah, and it's on hard mode. This person has created a hanging device in Tears of the Kingdom that will literally slap a Lionel to death. I just beat Cyberpunk for the first time ever, so naturally I'm seeing a lot of clips like this one in my feed. What 1,000 hours of Cyberpunk looks like. I sat slack-jawed as this person effortlessly danced through the sky and pulled off insane tricks and combat techniques that I couldn't have even imagined trying. My playthrough looks like a chimp nibbling on a wad of Play-Doh. This was like watching Michelangelo sculpt David. And we've all seen clips like this. Someone playing a game at a level worlds beyond what you could ever imagine doing yourself. And if you're like me, typically your reaction is something like, cool, it's awesome that you could do this, I had no idea. And then you lock your phone and wipe. But these clips wouldn't exist if there were not people out there who do much, much, much more than just roll credits. Which makes me wonder, what possesses a person to want to go to this length in a game? To spend so many hours relentlessly experimenting, maximizing, learning, and showing off. A reason beyond just liking the game that much, or achievement hunting, because the cop-out answer is, of course, they just like it that much. But that's too simple. I loved Rebirth, I loved Cyberpunk, I loved Tears of the Kingdom, but I didn't express that love through playing them for
Hello.
copious amounts of hours and multiple playthroughs, and according to this poll I made, neither did a great many of you. Love for a game can be expressed in many different ways. So what makes a person spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours on something that they may not even like that much? Is there a psychological predisposition to playing a game like this? Spoilers, the answer is yes, and involves something that psychologists call goal orientation. And through a pile of psych research, some insights on how different games might affect your playstyle preference and how your parents might have affected this, hopefully this will give you some clarity on why you are the way that you are. In a nutshell, I want to help you answer if you are a master or a performer.
So that's the premise of the video. Good to see you, Sleepy Wifey. If I were playing that, I would have looked like a chimp who'd never seen a wad of Play-Doh. This is the premise of the video. Good to see you, Shadow. And it's like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? And I think it's valuable for us to ask, as just sort of people, as mature individuals, why do we do anything? Right? Like, what drives us to do, to befriend who we befriend, go to whatever church we are, read what we read, have interest in what we interest. And for me, and I'll tell you from my perspective, just kind of starting this video, I'm like, man, I feel like a gamer failure, because I look at so many of you guys, streamers and otherwise, and a lot of you are it feels like you're masters, right? Or you are, we're going to learn later, a version of performer that looks for excellence. Because I'll sit down and I'll have somebody, usually some autistic genius person, tell me like a zillion details of how to build the thing. Or I'll have somebody like, have grinded through it like a million hours. And it's like, oh, it's really fun once you get to. Or you get to, you watch somebody on stream and they're just leaping and bouncing. You're like, wow, that's amazing. And you realize that they have spent ages of time in that, or they're just good at it or whatever. And so for me, I look at it, I'm like, I fail at games consistently. I'm always changing. I get bored so fast. I always try to start in normal. I'm never going to hit hard. I know that. Start in normal, but invariably, I will turn it to story mode. And so therefore I will feel like a bit of a failure, right? I feel like, well, I'm not a real gamer. I'm not, this isn't, like everybody else would try to do this. Oh, you can do it. Just keep banging your head against it. It's fine. You got these gotcha dudes who can go and they can sit through grind after grind after grind after grind, and they show up every day and they do the thing. And I get bored after like 20 of those, right? Like it's I'm like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. What is the point? Or I'll be playing a game like Nier Automata, and I'm enjoying the story and and then all of a sudden it'll throw like a hard thing at me. And even though I'm enjoying the story, even though I'm enjoying the interaction and whatnot, I'm like, this is no fun. And you can see it on my face immediately. Like you could argue, he's not having fun. And you've seen it in chat, like, you're like, wow, your personality just changed. You went from, wow, you're enjoying this and being, doing commentary and being a streamer, and now you're just mad, right? Like, it's just upset. And it doesn't make me a good streamer. It doesn't make me a good role model. It doesn't make me a good anything. And I'm sitting here upset. Now, why? Why am I upset? A good person, quote unquote, a good person, and this is kind of how I was raised, I guess, maybe, would go, you know what? Just push through, like get to the other side of that, and you'll find excellence, you'll find achievement, you'll feel better, you'll have a sense of accomplishment. Like on the other side of that are good things. And yet everything in me is like, this is uncomfortable. Now, for a long time, what I said was, I don't want to do this because I got enough suffering in my life. And you guys have heard me say this. I've got enough misery in my life and enough difficulty in my life that I don't need to add more. I want to play games for fun. I want to play games for the story. I want to do it for the emotional connection. I want to do it because it's interesting. I want to see the pretty graphics. But always in the back of my mind was, that's not the right way to do it. You're not doing that right. You're playing the wrong games. Like, for example, Stellar Blade's coming out. And I'm like, on PC, I'm like, I want to play that. But it's a Souls like with like grinding mechanics, and I'm like, why do I want to play it? It looks really cool. I don't think I'd enjoy it. I would probably not enjoy the game, even though I would love to boot it up and go through the menus and see cool things and wander around and whatnot. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was saying, I think I could play Minecraft as a guy that just travels one direction night and day, just watching things randomly appear. I would, and I've done it. You guys have seen me do that. We've done that occasionally when we were chatting and things were happening, and I just kind of get in a boat and go. And it was great. I really enjoyed that. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed. And but that's not the right way to play Minecraft. That's not mining or crafting. That is just journeying. Why don't you just turn on a screensaver? Why don't you, and for me, turn on a movie. Why you got to make it a game if you're just going to turn on a movie? Well, and so there's a lot of guilt in me, right? Exactly. Right way. And there's a lot of guilt in me and a lot of, you're not a good streamer because you don't play right. You're not a good gamer because you don't play right. People are bored. People are whatever. They don't want to watch you play games because you don't play right. And so as I watch this intro and I'm like, you know what? I need to know, almost to give myself permission to make it okay for me to play, right? To make it okay for me to play, I want to play. Like Donnie there's a great example. Donnie's like, why don't you try Vintage Story? Part of me is like, I should try it. Donnie likes it, and it's fun for him, and other people like it, and I should do that because I want to get to know Donnie better, blah, blah, blah. But the whole time I'm like, it's hard. It's harder than Minecraft. And I get done with Minecraft. It just makes me crazy that I'd be like, I don't know. It's not like, it almost sounds like a threat. You should play Vintage Story. No, how dare you threaten me like that, right? I don't use it to escape from reality. I use it for work. Okay, I use it for work. Minecraft isn't hard. Well, for you, Minecraft is survival horror. Okay, it is, and it is hard, and it is annoying, and it does get frustrating. But I game for work. Remember, when I was growing up, I didn't have a console. Like, I had an Atari when I was a little kid, and nothing. And then I think I got an N64 when I was married, and we got a Switch, or no, not a Switch, a Wii, right? And even then, because life is hard, and because I'm always in crisis, and because family, because kids, because everything, I didn't really play much, right? I didn't really play much. Yo, Zaki, good to see you. And so I'm like, I'm not a gamer. And so when I sat down here to be a Twitch streamer, my assumption is and always has been that I'm supposed to be gaming, right? I'm supposed to game. And over the last 4 years, I have tried hundreds of games, probably. Hundreds? Definitely 200 at least. Played that many games. And I have enjoyed some, and I've been frustrated with others. And great example of Monster Hunter Rise. I started a quiz. It's like, you should play Monster Hunter Rise. And I think maybe someone even bought it for me. Like, it wasn't even my money. They dropped like however much money on it. Here's some money, and here's some stuff. Go play it. And I despised it. It was the only game I said I actually truly disliked. Other games I could see good. That one is so frustrating. I came back to it because my daughter was into it. I'm like, how are you, my daughter who doesn't game at all, enjoying Monster Hunter? What is wrong with me? Literally, my code. What was wrong with me? If you can get into it and you can play it and you can enjoy it, and other people, everybody says they enjoy it. An entire country of Japan thinks it's the greatest game ever. What's wrong with me? Right? So I sat down and I played it, and I think because I'd played 200 games, I kind of got the mechanics. My fingers were able to fing a little better, and where I was able to play, and I actually did enjoy it the second time around. But it's like, man, if you've been around for a long time, I've been frustrated with myself when it comes to the gaming thing, right? Well, and like I said, I play for work. I don't play for fun mostly. Like, I turned on Balatro the other day, and my thought was, it wasn't, oh, I like Balatro. It was, I wonder if I can play this on stream. Would achieving 1 million or getting to whatever be a good stream? I start playing Destiny. Why did I play Destiny? Because I want to collab with Aki, and I want to find a way that I can connect with the community. Not because I want to play Destiny. When I hook up, go get the new Nintendo game, whether it be like whatever that new Zelda game. Why did I do that? Because it was new. and I thought maybe it would get me views. When it comes to games, I don't think of them as entertainment, right? It's the same thing with movies. I work, and then I want passive entertainment that I don't, I've watched probably a million animes because I watch Crunchyroll all the time. It's my main source of watching stuff. I don't remember any of them. They wash over me like I could watch an anime back to back and I wouldn't remember any of it. It doesn't happen. I'm not engaged because I'm doing other stuff, right? So that's it. All that to say, this is why it's interesting to me to watch this video, because I want to know myself better, and I want to understand why I game how I game, right? Why I game how I game. Minecraft is only as hard as you want it to be. True enough, you can make it creative and all that stuff. There's also what mechanics challenge you like factor to games. I don't like the right kind of games to be a gamer. Well, that's it, right? Because, I like Black Myth Wukong is a great example of a game that everybody's like, man, you got to play. And I'm so often so jealous of Miss Positivity. She has this uncanny ability, in my opinion, to choose games that are going to be, prepare herself, know what's coming, and be able to choose games that everybody's playing. And it's just like, I don't know if it's instinct. I don't know if it's because she puts the work in, knows what's coming, or just like really good at it, or because of all of her experience or whatever. But I will watch her stream and I'll be like, man, she is nailing what people want to see. She is doing what people want to see. And then I'm just like, I didn't know that. And I feel like I'm doing it wrong. So I need permission from a random YouTuber on the internet that I've never met before to game how I want to game and to stream how I want to stream and be okay with that, right? Look up the definition of entertainment. Why'd you put it here? Just copy paste it, man. Then we can read it. Everything he teaches against in the class, don't stream or create content to get views. Well, that's it. And that's right. So for me, right, it's how do I factor in gaming to, I keep trying to push play. How do I factor gaming into this streaming thing? And is it okay for me to play games? Because there are games I've enjoyed. There are games we've played. We've had good experiences. There are games that I've been like, man, like Nier Automata, or like Horizon, or like Spider-Man. Like those games are memorable. They're memorable. Like the Copycat. I remember Copycat. That was just that was quite a game. Like there are games that have been really connected to me, or Batman Telltale, or Detroit Become Human. Those are big deal games to me, and I'm glad I experienced them. But did I play it wrong? Am I connecting wrong? Am I doing it wrong? And so therefore, can I release a lot of the guilt and fear and shame and anxiety and worry from me by reframing how I play games? Right, that's kind of where I'm at right now, and that's why I'm interested in this. Does that resonate with anybody? Just trying to do the opposite. How to make content that isn't just play games? Because, well, that's the thing, man, is that I definitely can't. I can't make content that is play games. I'm not good enough or interesting enough with the game. That's why I make content on teaching and content and philosophy and things like that, because that's something I am kind of good at. Don't forget Copycat. I try to forget Copycat. Oh, yeah. Amusement or diversion provided especially by performers. Amusement or diversion. Yeah. So therefore, yeah, is that okay? Well, exactly, Zach. That's my point. And so therefore, should I just delete Steam? Right? That's crossed my mind. Stop at 2 p.m., walk out the door. Like, I'm getting choked up just talking about it. So I'm going to push play because I'm getting myself all worked up right now. They're in terms of gaming, but I can relate now. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. It expands. Like the thought expands, right? So why do I do it? No, it's not you. It is really serious to me. Not only is it my livelihood, not only is it my passion, not only is it my ministry, not only do I care about you guys, but I feel like if I turned off Steam, I'd be losing a critical connection to you guys, something that we talk about and something that all of us seem to have in common. And I would be I wouldn't enjoy it. I think it would suck to not be able to do that. There's an unhealthy thing inside of me when it comes to video games, something going on. And that's why I think this video connected to me so so much. And like Swag said, it does connect to other places, right? Like, why do you work the way you work? Why do you vacation the way you vacation? Why do you read what you read? You know, because I read what I read because I want to tell people that I read these books, or because I challenge myself, I'm going to go read 100 books this year, or I'm going to get through every classic and I don't care how much I hate it. I'm going to read Shakespeare even though I want to tear my eyeballs out, right? Or is it I only read because if it's going to be interesting, and I could pick up and put down a book even if it's a mystery, if it doesn't grab me, I don't care, right? It's going to connect to a bunch of different things. But like some of it is knowing the criteria for the games that hit home for you, that you remember fondly. Yeah. No, you're just meddling. I mentioned books. Oops. No, that's what I'm saying though. Is that okay? Which of those is okay? Both are okay. Right? It's the moral of the story, and the thing, both are okay. Except mine. Except the one I have, in which case it's framed this entire thing as negative. But you'll see that later. All right. I think so too, Jones. That's what I'm thinking. But like, think of Jones, I think immediately of Animal Well. Right? A game that I enjoyed up front, that got hard, that I wanted to play, that I wanted to experience because you guys have experienced it. Even though you haven't finished it either, neener. But it got to a place where I'm like, I don't want to go back in. But it does all the things I want. It's platforming. It's really cool. It's like got an amazing aesthetic. Yeah. And the question is, what's wrong with me? Yeah. I'm watching it live. We're talking about it. Actually, I did. All right, fine. Did you finish it? Because there's a lot of finishing in that game. All right, let's keep going.
And help you understand what that means. If you liked these videos, you're going to like this one. And if you already think you're probably a master because you love to tinker in an effort to master a skill, you're really going to like today's sponsor, Boot.dev. Video games are, for many of us, a chance to prove something to ourselves. An opportunity to cast your mind back to when you were in the 5th grade. What school was like, what games you enjoyed, what friends you had. And once you situate yourself in that memory, I want you to imagine that one day in class, the teacher pulls you aside and gives you a few small puzzles. They aren't super hard, you are pleasantly surprised at how well you've done, and the teacher then says to you, "Great job, you must be really smart." How does it make you feel to hear that? Maybe back in school you were actually told something exactly like this. Perhaps you were placed in the smart kid classes and labeled gifted and talented. Maybe you really liked that praise. Hell, maybe you heard it all the way through college. But let me revise our story ever so slightly. Let's rewind.
So yes, that's me. Okay. I skipped a grade. I was placed in the gifted class all the way through my entire high school and college career. I was told I was smart. I was told I had great potential. I had professors pulling me aside and saying, "We can't wait to see what you do with your life. Getting a master's degree." I had the AVP. He's like, I'm gonna mentor you. He pulled me aside. Like, that was me, right? That's where I was when it came to, so like in my mind, this whole "you're smart" thing, that's what I was told. Over and over and over. You worked really hard versus you're really smart, isn't it? It is. It's an interesting thing to think about. And which one I got? I got the really smart all the time because I didn't work hard. I didn't ever have to work hard. My entire scholastic career, I was on autopilot and I didn't do homework. I didn't do homework until my second year of my master's degree. Okay. I didn't. Like, of course I had to write a report, but my point is that, like, I didn't have to read the book. I didn't have to study. I didn't have to put in effort. I could go to bed every night when I wanted to. I could put the assignment in. I knew I was going to pass. At no point did I have to put in any effort. Am I the only idiot here? He finally figured it out, guys. He finally figured it out. Good golly, we've had a revelation. Write that down, Zach. Yes. Potential wasters of the world unite. Well, that's exactly, man. You're wasting your potential. If you go through all of my Shane Banzak, if you go through every single report card I got from the beginning of time, they all said the same thing. He had great potential if he'd only apply himself. I mean, literally everything, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, all the way through. And because I never had to apply myself. In fact, I was a kid, and you're going to call me a liar, but this is absolutely true. There were times where my mom wanted a 65. Okay. She said, you have to get a 65 in the class, not a 50. You need 65. That's, that gets you into passing. Okay. I would do 65% of the test and then get up and leave the rest blank because I knew I was going to get all those right. And I just didn't feel like doing the rest of the test. And it would drive the teachers insane. Right. And he's like, why didn't you finish? You could have got, and I'm like, because Star Trek is on, man. I got to go home and watch Star Trek. That's the way it is. And that was my life. So when he talks about this, like literally, put back to grade 5, were you told you were smart? Yeah. Yeah, I was. ADHD is almost defined by the phrase, great potential, just apply yourself. Yeah. What's up, DJ? Good to see you. So for me, yes, this is exactly what it was like. And it was, but it wasn't a source of pride. Like every time I sound like I'm saying I'm so smart, I'm lazy, right? I was always a smart kid, so I had to learn how to set my own goals, keep myself from being lazy. That was me. I was lazy, didn't have goals, didn't care, didn't need them. Didn't learn that until around my mid-20s. Yeah, you could totally ask a random question. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. AMA. My dad would say, if I had the brain you have, I could have done so much more. I always look at that as a bit of my slap because of my wasted potential. And that's exactly it. That's 1,000% it. Right? I had a friend who we were in the same class and all that stuff, right? And so he would go and he would take a class with me, like we'd take math, say for example, we'd take math. I would come in, I'd write it, I'd do the test, I'd get 85. And then he would do the test and he would get 83. And he'd be like, man, that was a hard test. I was up all night. And wow, how long did you study? And I'm like, I didn't study. I watched Wrath of Khan all night long. And then I came in, I did my test. That's how, and he would be like, that's so frustrating. I'm like, yeah, but that's just the way it is. It's not a good thing. At no point was it a good thing. We're the group. Yeah, we're lazy bums. Welcome to the lazy bum tribe. Oh, that's a good point, Father. It's true. You're nothing wrong with, yeah, that's right. The guy's gluten intolerant, and then he has to go. Now somebody has to go to jail. Okay, I'm going to push play, and we'll keep going.
You do the puzzle, you succeed through college, but let me revise our story ever so slightly. Let's rewind. You do the puzzle, you succeed, you feel good, and then the teacher says to you, great job, you must have worked really hard. How does this one make you feel?
I wouldn't know. Never heard it.
It's entirely possible that they sound the same to you. You kicked ass, end the discussion. But it's shocking just how staggering of a difference these two forms of praise actually make. This is Dr. Carol Dweck, and over the course of her career, she has done a ton of research on people's personal beliefs about their own intelligence and abilities.
Good point, Joe.
And our little thought experiment is a study that she ran in several different forms over the years. In essence, elementary schoolers will be split into groups and do a series of easy, nonverbal puzzles. One group was praised for their intelligence.
Wow, you did really well. You must be really smart at these.
Another was praised for their effort.
Wow, you did really well. You must have tried really hard at these.
And of course, the control group wasn't praised at all. Sorry, Timmy. In her original study, only one sentence of feedback was uttered because, as Dr. Dweck explains, we had a hunch that one line might be enough to see an effect, which is an absolute mic drop because that's exactly what happened. When the students were then offered either a harder puzzle or another puzzle of a similar difficulty, the majority of the students praised for effort took the harder puzzle. Those praised for their smarts actually took the easier. The smart kids did not want the business, but the ones told that they worked hard were very Goku-ishly ready to be pummeled for the love of the game. They invited the challenge with
How? Oh, because I sneezed. when it comes to the thank you, I don't know why I keep doing that. I apologize. I'll try to do better. The Goku Vegeta thing that he keeps talking about when it comes to effort, right? And you're going to see it come up a few times in the background. I think it's really cool. It's it's interesting because when I watched Dragon Ball, I thought I was watching Goku and I'm like, you're an idiot. Stop it. Why are you like just cheapers? And Vegeta, I never thought of him as someone who was the smart one or whatever. Like I just assumed he was trying to be Goku 2.0. Why I think one of the reasons I quit was because the whole show is about Goku's tenacity or Gohan's tenacity or Vegeta's tenacity and how much they push. And the shows, I don't resonate with that at all. I was like, man, I just quit. Here, you can have the planet Earth. I'm going somewhere else. Like, it's fine, whatever. You've outdone me. Whereas the shows I like to watch are like the ones where someone outsmarts the other person or someone, there's a whole subset of anime where you have a kid that's sleepy, doesn't want to do anything, is like just barely functioning in the world, but is like super skilled. And then he, every now and then something happens and he wakes up and he's like, oh, fine, I'll do a thing. And then he absolutely just annihilates it. And he's the greatest thing ever. And then he's like, okay, can I go home now? Like, that appeals to me. And I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good thing, but that appeals to me. They always inspired me to do better, stop being my lazy self and get more tenacious. Nope. I was like, you're an idiot. This is stupid. Figure out a better way. There's a better way. Why are you banging your head against this thing? I will punch him harder. No, I will punch him harder. Now I'm going to, punch him really hard. That didn't work. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to punch him even harder. Like, I'm like, you're a moron. It's like, whereas I will watching a show where it's like, I punched him really hard. Wait a minute. We got to figure this guy out. What's his weakness? Where's he from? How do we demoralize him? How do we sneak around? What do I do with my team? How do we figure this thing out? That's the people I want to watch, right? That's the people I want to watch. Oh, sorry, Zach. My bad. The Lumi is broken, completely, totally broken, and so nothing's gonna work today. Please don't use any of your points. My bad. I resonate with being the natural, gifted, smart one and having to be forced into working hard to beat the loser that is trying to bet his entire life on outworking me to earn what I already have. So forces the guy to try. Not me. Nobody invited Echo Fist. I mean, he's got smarts. He's got a little bit of brains. I don't. I only got coffee. That's all I got. All right, I'm gonna push play. And we're gonna keep going here, but I like I said, I vibe with this so hard.
Open arms. So what exactly is happening here? Love of the game. They invited the challenge with open arms. So what exactly is happening here? Well, these forms of feedback to our young, malleable minds immediately begin to mold our self-belief and subsequently our motive to try. By telling students, hey, good job, you must be smart, it immediately places the reason for their success on something about them that they have no control over. It'd be like telling your niece that she bowled a strike because she has a lot of aura. What the hell does she do with that? On the other hand, by telling students that their hard work was what paid off, that gives them something actionable to use moving forward. And it makes difficult tasks less of a threat to their identity and more of a chance to grow.
Identity, like that's a big one.
When we praise children for their intelligence, we tell them that this is the name of the game. Look smart, don't risk making mistakes. In the long term, what this simple distinction and verbiage manifests as is two distinct, very well researched and defined motivations. A mastery motivation, the desire to do well at something for the sake of learning it and finding competence in it, and a performance motivation, the desire to excel because from a social standpoint, it makes one appear competent. And at face value, you can probably already start to imagine which one you tend to have based on your upbringing and perhaps how it affects your playstyle when you game. If you relate to the players from the start of the video that experiment and intimately learn the mechanics of the game, you might enjoy doing things that way because, like the...
Okay, so quick question for you guys. Who's that one? I know we've been talking about it, but if you are lurking or whatever and you want to contribute, who is the one who is the got to get it right, got to grind, got to get the achievements, watch me do this buck naked player? Because that's definitely not me. No, that's what I'm saying. I think you figured that one out. Definitely not me. Who is that? Because I know that some of y'all are like that. Like, what if I didn't have armor? What if I did this? Like I'm gonna solo this bad boy, with just a pot on my head, right? Only certain things I did that, but not in school. Yeah, exactly. They put you in the class where they helped you pass. They're doing that a lot more with students. Don't get me started on that. That idea that they're going, you know what? Let's just let them pass, even if they don't have the actual skills. But I digress. I just want to beat the game. I don't need to master it. But do you need? So here's the question, Jeff. To get to the end of it, is that important to you? Like, will you have the perseverance tenacity to be like, I want to get to the end of this thing. Let's do this. Or is it that could you quit? Could you quit if you wanted to? Maybe just a little, just don't want to do the work for a long time, too impatient. Yeah, maybe there's that too, yeah. Played baseball growing up. I was the best and no one would tell me otherwise. Okay, all right. I don't like grinding. Well, the thing about baseball is that there's numbers for days. You can say who's the best because you could just look at the numbers. It's easy. I don't like grinding. I'm good for a day. Yeah, I can't do the grind either. Girk says, I quit ranked and retired from all the games when I hit my peak. What really happened was I saw that it was going to take friction for me to go farther than I got to and wanted to be seen as really good, so I quit as soon as possible to rest on the laurels of fear of looking like I was bad or falling off. I legit wanted to look smart and quit before I could look dumb. That was a major reason for me just moving to be a full casual gamer and sit on the laurels of aura being so good. Yeah, I've done my time. I don't want anybody to see otherwise. Like, you don't want to pull a Mike Tyson and come back after so many years. Your legacy is you're the toughest, most bad dude in the history of dudes. And then you come back and you get pummeled by a YouTuber, right? Like, you don't want to do that. Jeff says, I will keep at it because I want to finish the story. The other parts of my personality won't let me give up. I hated Hades when I first came out because it was hard, but I learned what a roguelike was, right? Oh, that's how it's supposed to be. And that I was supposed to fail a lot. I kept at it till I finished the storyline. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I probably might have quit. I might have quit in that scenario. Makes you feel like, yeah, I understand. I'm baseball. I had one season where I didn't hit very well, made me want to quit baseball forever, even though I was still pretty good. Okay, interesting. I come to the point sometimes I can't feel like I play a game without streaming. Yeah, I got to be careful with that. I 1,000%. The only game I think I haven't streamed is Balatro. Yeah, I think that's true. I generally play games to enjoy them. I'll grind, go the completionist route only for certain games. What makes those games those games? Is that a game that it has a certain kind of mechanic that you'll do? Or is that more along the lines of it's a game that you just really, really like? As a golden child with many gifts led to me become a people pleaser and always trying to meet others' expectations of me didn't go very well. Yeah, meeting other people's expectations. I never struggled with that because people consistently were expecting more of me and I wasn't delivering. So you can get used to that. Never fight a boss naked with a pot. I would use the most OP and amazing gear possible to destroy it at once. Yeah, exactly. That's two different things. Exactly. I did quit. Then I was watching a guy playing it on Twitch who talked about the mechanics, and I went, Oh, it was me, not the game. All right, interesting. I'll never play a Souls game. I don't want to torture myself. I'll come back, like I said, to Stellar Blade or Black Myth Wukong or the new one that's coming out that I can't remember. That's almost identical to all those other ones. That is, you mentioned it yesterday, Girk, the new fancy one coming out, and that is like I look at it, or even Expedition 33. Like all those are very similar in that there's some kind of mechanic that's going to make them difficult. There's a challenge. There's you're going to die. There's you got to get this right, and the game is meant to be fighting, not story. Yeah, there's story, but you don't get the story until you learn how to fight. And to me, that's prohibitive, because that means that there's a skill barrier, and I don't have the tenacity to get past the skill barrier. Again, I see that as a character failing, not as a personality trait. But I'm watching this video so that I can make it okay, and it's okay. It's a personality trait instead of a failing. All right. Thanks. I appreciate you being here. Skill barrier that only I can beat. Yeah, nope. I don't do that. That's not me.
The effort, kids, the ever-growing challenge and the allure of mastery is most satisfying to you. On the other hand, if you're like me and were placed in the gifted and talented classes growing up, you may not really play games specifically for the difficulty. I'm here to enjoy the story. I'm here for the vibes, the atmosphere, the music, the chance to do something funny or laugh with a friend, or cry until I'm numb. You enjoyed the cabaret side quest in Yakuza 0 because it required a deeper understanding of what your girls are good at and what your guests want to see. I enjoyed it because the makeover menu music sent my soul into orbit.
Okay, so to me, that's the difference between Kirk and me and so many others. Like, he would look at that from a perspective of numbers and what's the best and all the mechanics, whereas I'd be like, ooh, pretty dress. Let's listen to this menu music for a while. You just said it was. I've heard you. You do this and this, and then you got this mechanic, and you do all the thing. Well, you'd be oogling at the same time, but you see, the thing is, you think about the number. I don't even think about the number. I'm just like, man, yeah, it's just the way I am. Although ukulele makes a good point. I should probably start thinking about ways that I've went through barriers in life, that because they're talking about tenacity. And okay, so let me pause then and mention that when it comes to tenacity and moving forward, I do have that, right? I have the ability to function in a very difficult environment and continue to go on. And I think there are very few people in life that have the shoulders that I can have to face the suffering that I've faced and continue moving forward, right? They would have quit. They would have died. They would have gotten terminally sick. Their heart would have stopped on them. I've been built, to be able to face more stuff. In life, I can get through it. I can sit through meetings that would turn other people into putty because I've learned how to do that, because I had to do it, because it was part of the thing, because part of the call. That's the way it was. And off we go. Whereas, which is why I said my excuse was usually, man, I don't want to play this game if it's hard. My life is already hard enough. Thank you. And so it's, but I don't know why I can't translate I will just get through this meeting. I will do this thing. I have to do it. I have to do it right. This is really important. Well, because it's a God thing, for one. I'm here because I'm obeying God. I'm here because God is my strength. I'm here because I have a mission. I'm here because this is my calling. I'm here because I made a commitment to you, to church, to relationship, to whatever. And therefore I will remain committed, as opposed to this game, which I'm not married to, which I'm not employed by, which I'm not parenting, things like that. Like, I'm not. This is just a game. And so maybe it allows me to kind of fall into that old mindset of being like, listen, if I'm not great at it immediately, I don't want to do it. But in life, I can keep going. In life, I can keep going. Yeah, because it's not important. Yeah.
We are not the same. I'm much more of a performer. I want something to
wonder what game that was.
Ride, not something to study and find expertise in. So if you happen to participate in that poll, more than likely your goal orientation.
Okay, so he keeps putting Balatro up as the goal-oriented mastery one. I really like Balatro, and I have played the snot out of it. I played it for like 7 hours in a row last week. That's all I did that day. Like but it wasn't. I'm like, not because I'm a master. Why does Balatro appeal? I don't know, because math. I really don't know. What makes Balatro me be able to do it? Because I'm good at it. There's the answer. It's because I'm good at it. I just answered my own question. I was immediately good at it. That's why. One of my buddies said, I'm going to start playing Dark Souls. Let's play that. Play it together. I'd play until I fell over because I'm that competitive. I don't have to be good. I just need to be better than you. See, I don't have that. I am more than happy for you to be better than me at it. I don't care. Right? self-worth is not based on whether or not I can win. In life, my self-worth is based on whether or not I can remain committed and go through and be out the other side and obey God and be the one who goes, yeah, no, this is the right thing to do because the Bible says so and I did it. Yeah. Whereas not so much in virtual land. It's also addicting. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because of the bleep bloops. That's it. It's because of the bleep bloops. Do you think you don't care because you don't think you can be better? I don't know. I've been told I have great potential if I'd apply myself. I don't know if I've ever tested that theory. My fellow was in Jesus Union. I said that's what I said. Not so much, but I used to be like that back when I played Call of Duty because I was like, oh, you were competitive because you wanted to be the girl who go make a sandwich, get back in the kitchen. So original.
Played a part in your answer. If you tend to deep dive into games and play them for every penny they're worth and then some, I'd be willing to bet you play with a mastery motivation in mind. If you're like me and typically just run the base game and move on, you are likely playing with more of a performance motivation in mind. And before we go too much further, I want to make it as clear as I possibly can that despite how Dr. Dweck's research frames it, in the long term, neither motivation is inherently better than the other. It does seem that mastery is a healthier perspective for deeply learning something, and in many cases it is. But that ability to truly lock in and learn about something at an incredibly high level often comes at a cost.
Yeah,
Have you ever
I get
met
that,
someone
wifey.
who kind of only plays FromSoft titles or only plays games on their hardest difficulty? They probably justify this with phrases like, playing something easy just doesn't do it for me anymore, or I don't know, I just can't enjoy this unless I hate myself along the way. These folks are probably mastery oriented. They get the most thrill out of a genuine challenge. But it might cost them a ton of games that they'd never consider playing. Believe it or not, this happens in school too, which is where most of this research was done. This 2019 paper found that mastery-oriented university students perform well on exams only when the subject matter was interesting to them. They excelled when it was something they gave a damn about and performed poorly on other topics. Performance-oriented.
Yeah, that was I didn't care what the topic was. I like journalist mode. What is that? I've never heard of that. That I didn't matter what the subject was. For me, I was good at school. I told my kids that don't be oppressed and don't try to be like me in that way. I was just good at school. You could be good at school and still not like, it's certain skill, easy normal mode. Yeah, all right. I like easy mode. I did all my schoolwork in between classes. Yeah, I never had homework ever.
Students with their anxiety and pressure to be the good students they think they are did very well across all topics as long as the class demands were clear. And it's fascinating to see this leak into the comments from that poll. Some people who do put in the gargantuan sum of hours tend to either do exactly that or just bounce off of a game entirely with no in between. Some have to 100% a game before they can move on. Others stopped gaming like this because they don't have time to do so anymore. Masters are actively looking for something to get hopelessly swept up in for a long time, even if it means they miss a ton of other stuff.
So you talk about the syllabus in college. That's how I rolled through college. I just did what is the least I need to do to pass this class? What don't I need to do to pass this class? And that's what I did. Like if it was a choice between bed and losing 10%, I would lose 10% and I'd go to bed. At no point was I ever like, oh no, I'm gonna not get another 2%. I didn't care. In fact, when I was in seminary, I think it was second year. So first year, I came in second year. I was like, I said, I distinctly remember we were it was the second year and they said, hey, you second years, do you have any advice for the first years? And I said out loud, like an idiot, you don't have to do everything in the class, in the syllabus. You don't. They're going to give you a whole bunch of different things to do. And every single one of these classes thinks it's the most important class. You can skip a lot of it and still pass. And the teachers shot me the dirtiest looks, right? And I'm like, it's true. Did I just like speak a truth that nobody knew? Like, that's not any new information, is it? And so later I got called into the AVP's office where he sits me down. He's like, is that really how you see school? I'm like, it really is. I don't know how you see it otherwise, because you guys assigned me, 75 hours worth of work and I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm going to go through and see what I need to do, the minimum amount, so I can achieve the passing grade in the class. And I'm not going to do the rest. In fact, my bachelor's degree, I didn't read a single book. I didn't need to. I was able to pass everything by just listening in class. Wasn't a problem. And so, and he's like, wow, how about that? And so he wrote a syllabus that became the hardest class in the entire school history of ever, because he wanted to figure out how I would have to do everything that he wanted me to do to learn in order to pass. And it was a brutal class. Brutal.
But if you fall in that slight majority with me, oh man,
I did. I really did.
Stunts like this or putting in hours like this, but you're likely trying way more games and rolling credits on way more games of varying genres. If the game isn't that hard, that's okay. For performers, it's more of a social experience anyways. We aren't playing Monster Hunter Wiki because we're in love with the mechanics. We're playing because it's fun to swing a hammer and we just want to be part of the session.
Amen, brother.
And because we want that play. We don't achievement hunt because it gives us a chance to experience the game's strategies and interactions at their fullest. We look up a guide for that. We just want the platinum so that we can flex it. We aren't playing that fighting game because we like the nitty-gritty details of the meta. We're playing it because it feels good to socially compare when we win. Performers, because they are so socially driven instead of process driven, tend not to need an overwhelming inherent interest in a topic to excel in it like masters do.
I'm so bad at the games, I don't bother socially comparing because I know that there's always someone better than me. Like there's like me sharing, like, hey, I did a good job. It's always responded with, yeah, but I did twice the gooder job than you. And it's like, yeah, the build guide, I'll take the build guide. Exactly. Good to see you, Doc. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing well.
Everyone is playing a particular game if all of their friends are playing it. Fear of missing out will set in stronger for the performer and
right.
drive interest through that avenue, especially if it is a particular type of performer.
Okay, so you guys talking about the meta, just for hey, better than 7. I've been to some streams where you get 7 in a row when you start. So how do I do this? I'm talking about the meta. One thing that frustrates me about games, and all you game people who are game developers who are watching, and I know you're all watching, it is that I want to be able to use the weapons you give me, and you create these games that have 70 million weapons of every variety, shape, size, and power up, and only 4 of them can be used, or even 1 of them can be used to be able to beat the game. I want to play with the nunchucks. Man, this is what I want to do. I want to play with nunchucks, but you're in Elden Ring. I'm like, I don't care. They're cool. But it's like, you can't play with that. You can't beat with that. There's no level of mastery you can get. The numbers will never work that way. You can get to the highest level of nunchuckery and it will at no point allow you to move on to the next level. They're not meant to do that. You have to use this sword. You have to use this helmet. You have to use this mechanic. That's the only way you get to the end. And that bugs me to no end because unlike what this guy is, I don't tell that to Michelangelo, right? I was thinking the same thing. But unlike what this guy was saying, where it's like, I use the meta, I use all that stuff so I can get to the end so I can compare. I don't want to do that. I find that so boring because I'm like, okay, this is a laser sword. Like, for example, when I was playing Cyberpunk, jumped into Cyberpunk, the first thing I got, I don't know why, but it was a laser sword. And I'm like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I have a katana made of lasers. I'm good. And I was using that to hack through people. But the game isn't designed for that. You have to learn how to shoot. You have to learn how to use all these weapons and guns and mechanics and stuff like that. I get it. You can't make everything for all people. Not every game can be a sandbox. I get it. But at the same time, why give me a weapon that is that cool that I literally can't win the game with, right? You did just with dagger and katana. Yeah, I love that. I don't know. I don't agree with this part of the performer side of things because I'm like, man, I just want I want the experience. I want it to be fun. Like, you saw me yesterday when I was playing that game, right? It was like, let's do all shields. What'll happen? Let's do all offense. What'll happen? Right? Just because I wanted to see what the difference was, because the lasers were making different noises. You want the meta to be what you want. I do. I want the meta to be what I want. Or I want to be able to use... I don't agree that's a mastery way to play the game. That's an experiential way to play the game, because I want to be able to experience the way I want to experience it. And I'm willing to put down the game, even if that's not going to happen. I don't agree that that's a mastery way to play. Nope. Like, for example, Destiny's a great one. I'll find a gun, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a really cool gun. And then it'd be like, well, yeah, but there's like 50 other guns that are better that'll do, and you can't play any of these levels if you try to use that gun. Sorry. I don't care how much you think it's cool, right? And when it's like, well, actually, if you tried really hard and you were just really good with that weapon, then it would be fine. But I'd be like, well, I don't want to. That would be trying, and I don't want to try.
Some psychologists make the distinction that there are two types of performance motivation: appearance-based and competitive-based. Appearance-based goals tend to lead to a host of maladaptive outcomes, such as self-handicapping and help avoidance. This is what Dr. Dweck typically observed in students who were told they were smart. This suddenly gave them a fragile self-image that they sought to
back up.
If everyone is playing a particular game, if all of their friends are playing it, fear of missing out will set in stronger for the performer.
That's me.
And drive interest through that avenue, especially if it is a particular...
I got a crazy level of FOMO when it comes to watching you guys play games. Tons of FOMO. I want to play Wukong. I want to play Stellar Blade. I want to play whatever that one that Girk said, I can't remember the name of yesterday. I want to play those. And I don't have the time, energy, effort, or skill. And it was just like, it does, I do have the FOMO. But what he says next actually is kind of a big deal.
Type of performer. Some psychologists make the distinction that there are two types of performance motivation: appearance-based and competitive-based. Appearance-based goals tend to lead to a host of maladaptive outcomes, such as self-handicapping and help avoidance.
Okay, so appearance-based is what he just said, right? Talking about appearance-based. And as soon as I heard that and he described what it is, I was like, oh, crud, that's me, right? Because the other one were the competency-based people, right? The ones who were like, well, I want to be seen as good at it. I want to be seen as excellent. So therefore I'm going to try, and I want to get high achievement. I want to get better outcomes. I'm like, I don't. I'm not driven by the outcome, and I'm not driven by what other people are like doing when it comes to the achievement. The self-handicapping and help avoidance is something I do, right? I will avoid help because they'll let me down, or because, if I don't know what I'm doing or whatever. And a self-handicapping, great example. It's not my fault. It's, because XYZ, because I didn't, I'm not dumb. It's the external. I'm not dumb. It's the other person. I'm not dumb. It's everything else that isn't me. Right. I'll do what, unconsciously. I'm not saying I do it, consciously, but I sometimes subconsciously, I really do handicap it myself, because that way if it fails, it's the world. Right. Self-handicap's different when it comes to if you're doing it on purpose. This is when you're not doing it on purpose. Yeah.
Such as self-handicapping and help avoidance. This is what Dr. Dweck typically observed in students who were told they were smart. This suddenly gave them a fragile self-image that they sought to protect instead of being engaged with the material itself. And it cost them. Later in that original study, they had both groups do an extremely difficult puzzle. Where the mastery kids typically didn't mind failing and had fun with it, the performance kids broke down, assuming that their failure was evidence that they weren't really smart at all.
You seem to have more trouble with this one, and I want to know why you think that was.
Probably because I'm not good at these problems.
Appearance-based performers tend to go that route. Competitive-based performers...
And the next thing you do is you go find something you are good at. Be very competitive, but I don't expect to win. Hey guys, good to see you, Pineapple. Right? The next thing I do is I go and I find something I'm good at. And because that way I can restore my ego. Right? Yo, you did? Oh, wow. Interesting. Cool. That's cool. Hello.
Performers, however, generally tend to achieve more and have much more adaptive outcomes, such as self-efficacy and self-regulation. What this means is that even if you run completely on ego, that ego is one hell of a motivator. Every Goku
Vegeta.
needs a Vegeta,
Yeah.
and this is exactly what you get if you're a performer who loves competition. You may not be
But
in
I'm
love with the
not.
mechanics or the strategy of Marvel Rivals, but if you care about winning enough, you will make room for them.
See, I like winning. I'm not saying I don't like winning, but I'm not motivated by it, right? If we play and I lose constantly and we're on a team, if I don't think I'm going to get upset about the losing. I'm going to get upset about the fact that I'm bringing people down. I'm causing issues for people because I don't understand the game well enough. And you guys have heard me talk about that. The I don't get this game. I don't understand it. If I understood it, I'd probably have more fun. Well, practice. Well, no, if I apply myself, apparently I don't have that function. Applying myself is not apparently an option.
You may not be drawn to FromSoft games or brutal platformers, but if your buddy beat one and won't stop talking about it, you might suddenly have something to prove. Meanwhile, your buddy couldn't care less what people think because he's mastery motivated. He plays Rivals because the strategy and technique tickles his brain. He plays because the depth of Elden Ring's build combinations are like brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts to his prefrontal cortex. He might enjoy fighting games because the frame data... Actually, I'm not convinced anyone likes fighting games, but you see my point. Alright, let's do a little mental check-in. I know almost all of you right now are watching this and have already decided that you are most certainly either a master or a performer. You've related to something I said about your upbringing or how you play or how you pick games. I hope that has provided some clarity about yourself, but before you go too far with that, it is critical that I speak to a mysterious third party that is watching. The people who are screaming, "I think I'm both, man. What the fuck is going on? Am I gonna die?" A 2015 study on 278 athletes found that when in a competition, athletes do their best work if they have both a high level of task goal orientation and ego goal orientation.
I like puzzle games and am determined to solve it. Competitive games, I don't have the same drive to win. Because brain, right? So interesting, like you'll apply yourself to the brain game, but you won't apply yourself to the reaction style games. That's interesting. Oh, that probably has nothing to do with this, right? It had more to do with like skill level and what you're good at, kind of thing. Because reaction time and your how quickly you see things and whatnot, that's kind of baked into your abilities. I prefer it when there are team or group games so we can celebrate the team wins. See, I don't know. I would love to say that, but as someone who didn't grow up with very many friends, as someone who was in the only team sport I played was baseball, and then I was in soccer, but I played the goalie, so I wasn't around anybody. Then I was curling, which is also an individual sport. All the thing I did was just me, by me. Yeah, there was a team there, but it was an individual effort as more than a team effort. And so therefore, for me, it was like the team thing. I wish I could be more team-based. I wish I could be more team-oriented. Y'all keep coming at me and kind of going, I want to play with you. And I'm like, I want to play with you too, relationally, because it's my job. And this sounds terrible to say, but I'm being completely real with you guys. Because it's my job, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is building community. And that's the right thing to do. You should do that. That's what you're supposed to do. God called me to do that. Go do that. And I want to do that. But at the same time, my relationship to people and with people has been so consistently negative that being on a team opens me to the risk of either looking like an idiot, which is, the performance-based thing, or failing them, or them failing me. It's easier just to do it myself, right? It's easier just to do it myself. That's why I would much rather be on someone else's stream than for them to be on my stream, unless I'm committed, fully believing in their competency, right? Because if they mess up my stream, I feel really bad. Whereas I feel like if I go to someone else's stream, I have the skills to be able to at least be somewhat interesting while I'm there, right? I'm not saying this is a good thing. And again, to get to the end of this video, near the end, and it's not making me feel like it's a good thing. I'm making me feel like I got some soul searching to do.
To translate that, task is mastery, ego is performance. Basically, as long as they are not low in both forms, they are experiencing a positive mental state when they play.
Time for
I bring
go
this
back to
study
bed,
up simply
Duck.
to say you can have both, and in fact, you probably do. If masters compare themselves to their past selves and performers compare themselves to others, it stands to reason that you can do both of these things simultaneously. According to this study, many
Such good
athletes
clips.
do. And in fact, if you do, you're more likely to experience that flow state that people talk about so much, where you're super engaged with a ever-growing challenge, which is exactly what makes video games such a magical time.
Okay, but like Zach saying, I do the opposite. I'd rather have it on my stream, so the final product is bad than it's on my stream, not theirs. See, that's the thing, is that I don't want that. I am so paranoid. Hello, good to see you, Sean and Julie. That I will make a bad stream and have a bad experience for you guys, that you will all leave and not be my friends anymore, that I won't be able to continue to stream anymore, that I won't be able to do this ministry. That'll be yet another failure, and I'll fall apart and end up working at Walmart as a greeter, lying on the ground in a puddle of my own tears because I had a bad stream, right? That I'd much rather pour my effort into serving and helping someone else, right? Because I feel like I can do that. I'm smart enough to be able to help them, right? It's not the same. What we're doing okay. How you doing there? I'm glad you're here. We're just kind of we're working our way through a video called Master Your Performer. What kind of gamer are you? Really? And what kind of life are you? What kind of student were you? What kind of person are you? And I'm having a full-on existential meltdown live on stream. So feel free to stick around, because you're probably going to end up seeing some crying within the next, 15 minutes here. So like, if you're really into that kind of stuff, could happen. Thought you were playing Tunic. No. Walmart greeter inbound, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, I've used that as an example because I'm like, I honestly think that that's where I would end up if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, or I was, wasn't able to be in ministry or whatever, be a missionary. That the only thing I'd be qualified for is Walmart greeter. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Yes, I remember that.
So for the cascade of people who commented on the poll saying it depends, or that they do a little bit of both, of course you do. These motivations are not mutually exclusive. The best way to think about it is you likely have a mastery stat and a performance stat. They might both be high, they might both be low, they might be a mix of values, they may vary depending on the game or activity or mood, but they do make a difference in your decision making. Just like patience or empathy or introversion, they're personality traits that are a factor in your life and not a hard law that you're going to follow. But understanding these motivations, I think, is important for all of us, because
Well, I think when you're talking about a performance measuring stick or performance minded, or not performance minded. So measuring stick, to me anyway, is a comparative model, right? That's the performance competitive. That's where you actually have something that you're looking at and you're like, okay, I can measure whether or not I'm better or worse, right? As opposed to performance minded, as in, how are people perceiving me? How are people seeing me? What reaction are they having to me, right? I think that's the difference. I worry enough about ruining streams from the chat. Really? Well, if you can ruin a stream from the chat, that's not a very good streamer. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so Taco, if you don't know what that is the Alliance for Creative Outreach, which is a group of Christian content creators who we do training. I wrote a book. We have a class, all that good stuff. And we also connect together so that we can make sure that we love and support each other. It was birthed out of the fact that we saw that there were not a lot of support systems for Christian content creators. And so that's what we created it. We did that. XtianNinja, I think you'd make a great motivational speaker. Although you don't seem to find it easy to encourage yourself. It's often the case that the thing that we're good at when it comes to helping others is the thing we find it hard to apply that to ourselves. The shoemaker's wife, right? That issue. Yeah, I have the shoemaker's wife version of encouragement, which I completely can make sense. Completely. You're probably right. My favorite sneaky thing to do when I'm in counseling or I'm counseling others is to say, if this was your friend going through this situation, what would you say to them? Say they came to you and they were like, man, I feel really bad every time. I'm just really paranoid about my stream, really paranoid about if people are going to like me. I feel like I don't play any games that are right. I feel like every time I do that, I'm not doing it correctly. And I feel like I can't apply myself if I wanted to. What would you say to that person? Right? And 99% of the time that person goes, oh, if they were my friend, I would, and then they give exactly the right advice, exactly the thing that they should be doing, exactly the thing that they should be having, their response should be. Like, dude, cut yourself some slack. It's fine. You have other skills. You have other gifts. You're a public speaker. You're going to be meeting people. People don't like you for how you play games. So forget that part. Just enjoy that part. It is perfectly fine for you to deliver the good stuff in talking and then have fun, and it's fine with the games. Chill out, man. A lot of your stuff happens offline and in between. Like, your main ministry doesn't happen online. During the stream, it happened. That's like the forward-facing part. 99% of it, or 90, well, that goes 80%, is happening in between, you dummy. So stop being so paranoid. And yeah, it's okay to enjoy a game and then quit. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody in your chat is upset with you for stopping a game, not playing, or doing it wrong. So get off your own back, man. Get out of your own butt. Right? I feel like I know the response. It's hard to engender it myself. Came across a website that ranked online content creators, YouTube, Twitch, etc. Gave grades to people, had grades and stats for streamers who I see as super successful. Got a B. Well, yeah, well, if it's all numbers based, then yeah, there's a way. That's why we have Christian content creation class, is because it's not about numbers, it's about mission. Yep, I don't know what they chart by, but I bet it's not what a Christian content creator should be charted by. Problem with categorizing gamers as master performers that there are other factors. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, still think it's a good discussion point, though. Yeah, I'm no dummy. Puppet maybe, but I'm no dummy. Consider yourself told by you. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? It's not like I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Because we're mad at you? You're not performing well? You might be reading into that, Girk.
Knowing that you tend to be a master may make you feel better about spending 200 hours on Monster Hunter and ignoring your backlog. This is just what you're built to do. Knowing you're a performer may make you not worry so much about leaving side quests and secret bosses undone.
Had enough of this, Josh.
If the challenge didn't entice you, listen to that feeling. You're trying to be honest with yourself. That's okay. Oh, and by the way, please don't bear resentment toward the people who taught you growing up for making you one way or the other. I know we made a big to-do about that
Miss
talent
Lordkinen's
versus
fault.
effort praise study, but believe it or not, a study spanning several countries involving twins found that learning motivation is actually around 40% genetic. So regardless of how you were rewarded as a child, you were already predisposed to how you were going to be. Don't be mad at your teachers. Be mad at your parents. And let's not forget
Agreed.
that, again, goal orientation is just a factor in your gaming habits. Growing up, the teacher might have been less of an influence on your family's financial
Right?
situation. The neighbor
So I
kid
should
might have had
unsend that?
3 consoles and a library of juicy goodness to pick from, but if all you had was a copy of Paper
Sorry,
Mario,
I talked
a
over
Mad
that.
Catz
That's an
comic,
important point. I want to go back.
be
I want to
mad
go
at
back to
your
that.
teachers. Be mad
Just
at
one
your
sec. I was made in the image of God, so it's really his fault. Yeah, the thing is, you're applying it's like you are a crescent wrench, and you're wondering, you keep banging against these nails, and they're bending, and they're not going the right way, and people are making fun of you for how badly you were able to nail these nails in, and why you're not very good at carpentry, and what's wrong with you. You know, everyone else did a bunch of hammers come in and like, this is easy, and you're done. And then you're like, but yeah, whatever, I suck. I'm just the worst hammer ever. And God's like, you're a crescent wrench, you idiot. Oh, okay. I'll go do crescent wrench things then. But if you're stuck in hammer mode and that's all you ever evaluate yourself by, you're never going to enjoy life. You know what I mean? You're never going to enjoy life. Be okay with whatever tool he created you to be. Moral of the story, I guess. Juliet already wrote a nasty email to my 5th grade teacher. I love that. I don't think that I would use the terms master performer as to describe what type of gamer you are, but rather what method of enacting what type of gamer you are. Yeah, okay. Well, kinda. I mean, yeah, it's semantics, but I kind of get what you mean. I used to be more achievement hunter. Now I could care less. And some of that's going to come from what's happening in your life. right? If you feel like you're not achieving anything ever, but you can in games, you're going to lean towards that. If you feel like you have no importance whatsoever, then you're going to lean towards trying to find importance in the game. What makes me feel important? If you find that you have no, you don't have love, relationships, people that are depending on you, or whatever, you're gonna go try to find that in the game. If you don't have friends, you're gonna go try to find friends in the game. And whenever that scratches your itch, and you're like, and you will be attracted to it because of what's missing in out there. I think that's a different thing than Master Performer, right? I think that's a different factor. Like, you sit there, I don't want to play this game anymore, but it makes me feel like I have friends. It makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. It makes me feel like I have a girlfriend. It makes me feel like whatever. When you're surrounded by hammers, you'll start to think you're a hammer. Truly. My dad would say, son, there are two kinds of people in the world: people who can do things and people who pay people to do things. You're gonna need a good shop. I'm that one too. My son, he works at Rona. Rona is Home Depot. It's Canada's Home Depot. And so he works with people that know what they're doing, and tools and how to fix a sink and all the rest of that stuff. And as he's learning, someone said, your dad's not very handy, is he? No, he is not. But he can fix your computer if you need him to. Right? It's just he did not grow up in a house with a dad that can do things like that. Just, I don't do it. If I was surrounded by hammers, I'd start to think I should apply for another job and stop being a nail. Yeah, there you go. There's another take. How's the ninja been? I've been okay. Been about 3 out of 5. But I'm a little tired, trying to make some adjustments, and it's hard to do. My dad's handy, so I never wanted to be. That's the other way to go. Yeah. Son came home with a giant failure stamp. Well, it's not. He's doing well. He's actually very dependent on there. He's doing a really good job, but he's having to learn it all from scratch, because he's like, did you know there are different kinds of drywall? Like things like that. Like, I think I heard that somewhere. No, Out of necessity. Yeah, I my dad just knew what he was doing, and I didn't even have the ability to hold the flashlight correctly.
Your parents. And let's not forget that, again, goal orientation is just a factor in your gaming habits. Growing up, the teacher might have been less of an influence than your family's financial situation. The neighbor kid might have had 3 consoles and a library of juicy goodness to pick from, but if all you had was a copy of Paper Mario, a Mad Catz, and a Dream, you were going to play every inch of that game because it's all you had. You discovered
Okay, what's going on?
Mario build, actually. Think that could explain why you play the same shit 7 times over these days? Maybe your family could only afford to rent games from Blockbuster, and it forced you to try a ton of different stuff, and that habit stuck with you. Maybe that's why you never finish anything. Maybe you're more of a performer, and that led you to achievement hunting, which made you discover how cool a mechanic is in a game, which then led you to want to play other games on a deeper, more technical level. Did you just become a master? All of this to say, obviously, we are told a great many things growing up, and it's impossible to, in hindsight, perfectly trace the reverberations of what that symphony of praise and discipline and reinforcement actually did to us.
That's a super good point. This is, and I think Ukulele made the point earlier, right? Like, this is far more elaborate, more detailed, more going on than just these 2 things. It's a good discussion, but if you just nail yourself down, this is me. Like, people who are like they take a BuzzFeed quiz and that's their personality forever. It's not that simplistic, right? There's some nuance to it. More money I got, the less I finish games, because you want to try new stuff. Yeah, okay, I totally get that. Not sure what they were thinking of having a part that just holds my leg bones. Well, you got to hold the leg bones. Well, good. Yeah, you got to. If they don't work, you got to hold them together till they work better. At least I'm glad you have to come back and tell us how that went. I'm excited to learn, because I want you to take a big step. I can't wait till the cast comes off. You're able to move around better. What he said is true. Now I tend to gravitate more towards roguelikes because I would end up enjoying Hades. Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, so I played Destiny, and I used to play Quake, back in the day. And so I liked FPSs. It was a thing. I tend to avoid FPSs as a streamer because there's absolutely nothing to talk about. Absolutely nothing to talk about. And if you're not talking, what's the point? So that's for me anyway. That's why I tend to avoid them. But I feel like, I do enjoy them, but I don't think I could enjoy them on stream very much. Not as an FPS. 3 years ago, I had to teach my much older brother, Jim Hunk person, who had how to trim a hedge with hedge trimmers. He complained his arms ached after 20 minutes. I asked, how come when you lift weights in the gym? He said, yes, but when you put them back down after 5 seconds, you don't walk around with them swinging them around. See, yes. He's got a very good point. These are for show, not for go. Exactly. Because last time they said with your leg bones, there's a possibility you can, walk, but not too much. But it's only going to get better, Miss Doc. That's the thing. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. It's just taking a really long time, man. It's taking a really long time.
Let alone measure how that interacted with all of the habits we've cultivated since then. But the point of this video is not to label
Agreed,
one
wifey.
or two cute clickbaity buzzwords, but instead to help you understand more about yourself and those around you. That's all I ever really tried to do here. I hope today I succeeded. Regardless of the why you tick the way you do or the how you arrived here, just remember that it doesn't define you. It is a piece of you that you should seek to make peace with.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's a piece of you that you need to make peace with. And that's the journey that I've been on over the course of this video. And after watching it yesterday, I think I watched it yesterday. It was, as I was sitting here like, is it okay to be me? Is it okay for me to do things the way I do things? Is that all right? And like I said earlier, and I've been saying a few times, I am in a personal development, spiritual development phase of life at this point. It's confusing because I'm 47 years old. You think I would know who I am by now, but because I've had so many versions of life, I don't know how to react to this one. Right? What am I now? And I think part of that is that I need to sit down, buckle down, and this is a video like this is a good example. It is okay. Make it okay. Be okay with how you are, how God created you to be, and what you're doing, even though it connects to your job, even though it connects to your community, whatever. It is okay. Can you be okay with it? For example, I just swapped to the latest head streamers. Oh, that's adorable. That's so adorable. I love that you were able to outlift him. For example, not that has, but if I enjoyed Sims and stream it and don't grow playing it, it can ruin the game Sims for me. In a way, partially to blame is comparing myself to those who are successful at getting views. Yes. And I totally get that. I think that's inherent. I think it's baked into streaming content creation because there's the numbers. I could look at it right now. It's off, but I could hover over it and see how many people are watching right now, and it would affect my mood. If it was over X, I'd be like, man, I'm the greatest streamer of all time, and this is awesome. I should do this more. This is going to be my channel forever. And if it's under a certain amount, I'd be like, everybody hates me. I should quit. I'm an absolute fraud. Why am I doing this? I should just stop. This is, like that number, I think because it's baked into the system and you look at it, I think it eventually can't help but become competitive. And if you are streaming and you've chosen something, you're going to evaluate that thing you've chosen to stream or to create content on based on the interest of others. That's just the way it is, regardless of how you feel about it. It's just part of the system, and it's something I struggle with. I think every streamer struggles with. Would go crazy if chat just went quiet? I do, and it has. Every time I played a gacha game, it shut people down. When I play Destiny, it shuts it down. When I switch to any game that isn't basically a weird indie game that had is more experiential than it is another, it shuts down. Like when I turn on a game, it shuts down, and it makes me crazy, which makes me paranoid, which makes me want to question my self-worth, which makes me question everything because of all the stuff I'm going through, which is why I said personal development is a big deal right now. You should be taking talking reaction streamer with no. Well, that's it. Exactly. Thanks, Girk, for that. Yes, I agree. I agree. But, you know, you know what? Part of the reason I don't do reaction videos is because I can't find them. If I could find reaction videos and they were sent to me and I just reacted to them, I would do that. I would skip 3/4 of all games because I need to find something I like and want to react to. I've tried in the past and it just doesn't work. You get the same, you know, it just doesn't work. And it's just a lot of work to find those things. Shall we finish the video? Are we at the end? That felt like the end.
Hey there, you. Thanks for watching.
That's the end. This guy is, by the way, I'm going to give you the link to his channel because that's a good boy thing to do. There you go. So if you're curious, he does have more of these kind of things. Daryl Talks Games. It's worth, you know, I'll subscribe. I don't know why I didn't already because it's on my phone and it's confusing. My phone sucks. Yeah, it's I really, really enjoy this stuff. Hopefully it's a good talk. Hopefully it was meaningful to you too. I don't mean to cause maybe not that one. I don't mean to cause anybody to like have a some kind of mental crisis about how you function in this world or whether or not you are built right. I don't want you to feel the way I feel, you know? It's because I don't like that part of me. I've never liked that part of me. No, I've never had a potato sandwich. And we talked about them yesterday. Can you mail me one? Put it in an envelope and send it to Canada. I'll come find it and I'll try it. Could be good. You'd have to make it because you're the one who's going to make it right. Potato waffles topped with a fried egg. Yum. And brown sauce. I love that. Any sauce that's by color, not flavor. It's so funny. Yeah, so I don't like that about myself. I tend to be up in my head a lot, and it ends up being really uncomfortable. I feel like it also helps me with the empathy thing. Like you guys, you know, who said, you know, I'd be a good motivational speaker. I think part of it is because I spent so long thinking about, you know, stuff, you know, motivations and why and feelings and future and all that stuff. And God has worked really hard on me to give me a sense of empathy, to give me a sense of what other people are feeling. He's put me through situations that other people, you know, like go through. And so there I can kind of go, yeah, this is how it feels, you know? So it's like, it's a good thing, but ultimately it can make you crazy. You know what I mean? It can make you crazy. It's like someone who has perfect pitch. I'm not saying I'm perfect. What I'm saying is like someone who has perfect pitch going into a recital or something. You're like, they hear all the mistakes and it makes them crazy. It's great when it's working, but that skill or that ability or that, you know, whatever they have is it's not always good. It's a double-edged sword. Make another one, Duck, and then take a picture for me and put it on the so I can see what it looks like. I need to know what it looks like, otherwise I'll make it wrong. Beans on toast. Yeah, beans on toast, yeah. And then some blood pudding. You're welcome to use the Tribe BC to discuss further. XN has a meeting at 3. Yes, I do. Okay, well, you've made me paranoid. I thought I missed the meeting. I do have a meeting at 3 with the taco trainees. They're gonna be like, I'm not taking advice from you. You just had a full-on streaming crisis. You don't know what you're talking about. And that, you know what? Fair. That's fair. Want to trade? Sometimes the only thing I see in chat is Pokemon community game or stream elements, but then I have your words in my head. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? And I have to ask myself, is it for chat? Is it for views? Nope. It's for God. And if one person comes that I can witness to, my job is done. I think that's a good point. And like your motivation is going to matter the most. Why you do what you do is way more important than what you do. Why you do what you do is more important in scripture for all things. This is why love covers a multitude of sins. If your motive is love, you know, that's a good thing. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, analyzing your stream to make it better, 1% better every time. That's also critically important. Better according to whose standards? Let's talk about that. Add sausage and cheese, and that would be You guys go ahead and have the burrito talk. I'm good. Do you want to know what me? Yes, I want you to make the potato sandwich, and I want you to take a picture and then give me the recipe, and I'll make it. That is an ironclad promise. If you give me the picture and the recipe, I'll make it. I'll eat it on stream. Deal? But you got to do your thing. Hello there, mommy, please step on me. You don't want that. You don't want that. Unless you're on fire. I assume in this scenario, you're on fire. Boiled potatoes with chives and butter. Yeah, well, I want to see a picture. I want to see a picture. I want to see a recipe. Otherwise, I will screw it up and then I'll have a bad experience, right? Never wanted you to hear me say that. Who doesn't love big goth girls? Yeah, that's ubiquitous, man. Everybody does. At least you're supposed to. Even though I think the Jesus stuff tends to turn off people in the versus community, or I'm just not that interesting. I think it's like giving advice, you know what I mean, to people in after what I just did. It sounds a little odd, but I would say you got to make sure that you know who you're streaming to, right? Like, it's not just the why you're streaming and what the motivation is, it's who you're streaming to. Like, who are you trying to gather and where are you trying to bring them? Because if you're trying to gather people, it's not going to work. If you're trying to gather young people, it's not going to work. If you're trying to gather young people who play video games, it's not going to work. You really got to narrow that down. And then once you are like, this is the reason I want to do it, because there are people out there that are lonely, sad, disconnected, isolated, children of divorce, mental health issues, learning disabilities, physical disabilities, impoverished, whatever your thing is, those people, and I want to bring them to a state of better knowledge, a better relationship, a state of being able to entertain them, a state of conversation, a state of having other relationships in their life, pointing them towards Jesus, whatever it is. You have to know who you're trying to serve, and that's the word, not gather, not views, serve, who you serving, and where are you bringing them, and then how do I use my content to make that bridge. That's Christian content creation. Okay, it is who am I trying to serve, where am I trying to bring them, and how does my content make the bridge. Once you got that, you're done. And it takes a lot of thinking. I might be holding on to the games thing and need to let it go. It could be not an idol, but like a distraction. Could be. But I don't know if I'm willing to say that 100% yet. You know. You cooked them yesterday. Oh, that's fine. It's the butter that makes it. Either that or crucial mint and garlic. I've never put mint on a potato. Is that good? Do people do that? I put dill on a potato. That's good. I don't know what you call it, but Kristen Bell took look from Good Place is what I like when I'm married. Exactly opposite. We have to love them though. We're like compelled by scripture. The love of God compels us to love all. And big goth girls are part of that. Okay? Just the way it is. Now, if we're talking about, other things, so we can start talking about sensibilities and attraction and whatnot, but that's not what he said. Did you see the Alexis skit? Man. We're good. That I put in the memes and funny party Discord? No. Yesterday was a little distracting. We had some weird moments in the house that I won't be describing. But and so therefore, no, I haven't been doing much. I'll go look. I've really been enjoying the video. But hey, if you guys want to recommend videos, I can do it. I'll put it up. In fact, I'll do it right now as we're talking. I'll go into the taco thing, and I'm gonna go under my stream. I'm gonna make a thread. I don't know how to make a thread. How do you make a thread? Video reaction recommendations. And then enter, and then right click, and then make a thread. Create thread. Go. There you go. What do you mean? What game are you streaming? Oh, what do you when you said about the game? About what game? What? I'm sorry. We just talked about gaming and gaming motivation for like an hour and a half, so you're gonna have to be more specific. Do you mean when I said quitting, like not gaming anymore? Is that what you meant, or what did you mean? Would you have cold potatoes? I don't think so. I mean, if it was good, I mean, potato chips are cold, technically. So I guess it depends on what's on them and how they taste. So I guess potatoes can be cold. I usually eat them warm, but that's just because they're really crunchy otherwise. Which game you play on? Oh, yeah. So what I was saying, Sunshine, was basically I have had what kind of gamer am I? How much do I game? Am I gaming correctly? Why do I feel so bad about the games that I play, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? That's what we just talked about. And so therefore is one of the conclusions that that Girk ever so, delicately put, is that I should just stop playing them and do what I'm good at and let that part go. Even though I've got 600 games and everybody here loves, games and whatnot, just let it go. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm not at the place where I know. I'm making fun of you, Girk. That, because that's me. Like, honestly, it's the, do I get rid of that? Or do I keep going? Does it move to a different day? What do I do? I don't know. That's where I'm at. And I've been at for a while. I'm going to have to do a lot of prayer and journaling. It's going to require a lot of prayer and journaling, I think. My experience goth. All right. Yesterday was burritos. Today's goth girls. Welcome to the XtianNinja channel. In my experience, goth girls tend to lean heavily into occult paganism. Nah, come on. They just lean heavily into Hot Topic. Many not even understanding what it is, have no problem with them. But like others who have made up their mind, they don't have an inclination to actually listen. I don't know. Most of the time, in my opinion, they hate the sun and they love makeup. That's exactly what I was going to say. They like the symbology, they like the rebellion, they like the looking different, whatever. And it has way less to do with worshiping Satan and far more to do with worshiping society or hating society. Needing a group to join. That's how you end up with any of this stuff. Is that you end up going, I don't feel comfortable in my own skin. My brain doesn't function correctly, and I don't know who I am. And someone comes up to you and says, I know who you are, and allow me to form you into my image. And then you go, okay, I will go do that. And I will now become what you said. And because you give me love and you give me a validation, or you scratch an emotional itch that I have, or you give me a group that commits to me and that I can commit to. Doesn't matter what the compromises I have to do in my own ethics or compromise that I have to do in my own self or identity or other relationships or whatever, because this group gives me that. That's how you get sucked into all kinds of horrible stuff. And the further you go down, the harder it is to get out of that, because suddenly your entire social circle is that. Suddenly your entire outlook is that. And nobody ever can break in because you've been told that everybody else is bad, right? It's hard to do. Game doesn't grab my attention within the first 10 minutes, or I don't get it. Keep dying, I quit. I think there's nothing wrong with that. At first, I thought you were telling Donnie that maybe Vintage Story wasn't a good game to stream. This is what happens when you come into the conversation. It had nothing to do with Vintage Story, right? It has to do with who is he streaming to, right? I genuinely love when you react. I love reacting. My favorite thing to do is reacting to videos. I would love to do that exclusively as all my content. I'm not even joking. I love reacting to videos. It's my favorite thing. And it's the most successful thing on my YouTube channel. It's what people like to watch when I do it. I know that's true. There's a lot of work trying to find things to react to. Yeah. No, but it has nothing to do with Vintage Story. The game actually is incidental when it comes to Christian content creation. What it is it the right thing that connects to the people that you're trying to serve, to communicate what you want to communicate, to bring them to where you want to bring them, right? So if you're like, I want to serve young men between the ages of 18 and 27 who are single at home, don't have a girlfriend, and who are struggling with self-identity and don't have a dad, right? You're probably not going to be playing My Little Pony. You're probably not going to be playing, the Minecraft. You're going to be playing something to where they are, to begin the conversation, to be able to find them, attract them, get to know who they are, so that you can start those relationships, build the bridge. That's what you're going to do. The game is dependent upon the audience. And it sounds opposite to what you mostly hear in secular, which is go find content and you'll find an audience. That's not how Christian content creation goes. You are called to serve a people. You are equipped to serve a people. God has created good deeds in advance for you to do, and he gave you a pastor in order to help equip you for those good deeds. Therefore, you already have a group. Your job is to discover them. Look at whatever moist. I don't like looking at moist things. React to daily and react to that also. Nah. No, I don't steal content. It has to be legit, man. Has to serve my community. Has to be something we're interested in talking about. It has to connect to your hearts. That's what this was, you know? That's what this was. Everybody, it feels like anyway, had a connection to what it was being said. I'm gonna text my goth friend to see if he wants to go for burritos now. Yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm not stealing content. They're showcasing content that would not have seen otherwise. You can use for ideas on videos to respond to. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It just feels cheap. I know. I saw that Asmon did a react to What Do You Meme, and he did a react to the react. Yeah. Yep. I know they all do. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. Okay. Every time I've thought about doing reaction content in that way, it feels yucky to take other people's content. It feels disingenuous to the audience that I'm trying to serve, and it ends up sometimes feeling forced. So therefore, I've done it very rarely. However, when I've done it and I've enjoyed it and people show up, I really, really, really like it. So therefore, yeah. Yes, Duck. What can I do for you? I was waiting for the sentence. You said ninja and then quack, and then, you know, I was waiting for you to say something. Like, I'm here. I'm reading chat, but you got to say the thing. Tell you what, Girk, and anybody who does, okay, so here you go. If you're a reaction person and you enjoy looking at reactions, let me know. And show me who you think are good reactions and videos that you think would work with reacting as a way to help me, as a way to say, this is how this is how it's done. This is how people find it. This is the way, you know, this is kind of how the system works, because, you know, it just helped me understand it. And if that's what's going to be the thing I do, I would love it. It's got, well, not just in my, exactly. It's got to be in my wheelhouse, and it's got to be something I have an opinion on and actually care about. Otherwise, what's the point? Exactly. If I have leftover potatoes from last night, I'll make cold potato sandwich. How does that sound? If whatever the one is that you want me to try, that you are trying to tell me is good, make that one and then tell me how to make it. Then I'll make it and I'll try it on stream. Don't tell me something that isn't the thing, but is adjacent to the thing. Tell me the thing that you want me to try, right? I'd be like, have you ever tried fried chicken? No. How is it? Well, it's really good. I'm going to go have a cold chicken finger from the fridge. Crunch. It's good. You know, I'd be like, yeah, that's good. But that's not the experience I wanted that person to have. I want them to go to, you know, Popeyes or whatever. What kind of game are you? Grabtastic. Christians aren't doing that one. What? Grabastic? Is that a thing? I thought you were saying that you're a loot goblin. That you know, and you are, I am. Is that a game? Or is that just a word? I never heard that word. A person, group, or object made up of several different elements. A grabastic. I don't know that word. As my goal to someone I really enjoy reacting content, he's in the middle of the road. He is more conservative than some others. He's liberal on something, but so am I. Quite frankly, I'm not a very good hyper conservative. People don't like that. So yeah. And yeah, I have a Discord. Yeah, dude, I'm in. I'm 100% in. If I get videos, I'll react to them. Go. Popeyes store has opened up in my town center. Popeyes is better than Chick-fil-A. Popeyes is better than Mary Brown's. Popeyes is better than KFC. Popeyes is number one in my book. And I think they are better than Chick-fil-A, in my opinion. They're a better chicken sandwich. I really like them. Only thing I don't like is that they put pickles in them, so I don't have the pickles. But other than that, it's better chicken. It's spicy though, so you gotta like spicy, right? Yes, they have the non-spicy, but their spicy is spicy. Like they don't fool around. My fried chicken is better than all those places. I've had some pretty good homemade fried chicken. I've made some pretty good homemade fried chicken. You know, yeah. Panko is a miracle worker. Immediately only links to my own personal. I don't, dude. If y'all want me to react, let me know. Tell me in my chat. Say this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. Don't react to this stuff. I think it'd be boring. You know, you're such a sellout. You know, I hate your guts. Please go and quit streaming. Like all that, whatever. Say those things so I can know where to go and what to do. I recognize one of this KFC and everyone else is better than them. Well, everyone. Yeah, KFC is so gross, man. It makes me so sick. I haven't been to a KFC in a really long time. But last time I was there, which is ages ago, I got so sick. It was so gross. Make one? All right, well, let me see. I want to see. Yeah. You get chicken overnight. You put it in water with garlic powder and coarse salt. Let it sit overnight. All right. That sounds good. You're good so far, which I've never done that before. As long as you don't fake hype up. I'm nothing if not authentic, okay? I promise I won't fake it. I don't think I physically can fake it. I wear it all on my sleeve. No, I'm more than happy to wait, Doc. Yes, take your time. And, give me the right thing. Don't give me the wrong thing quickly. Give me the right thing eventually. I'd rather have. KFC brought to you by the same people that brought you Taco Bell. Yeah, and also makes me very sick. Last person alive with a stomach for both. I made a mistake a while back. I went to a really important meeting, and I'm like, I haven't had Taco Bell in forever. And I was at a mall. And I had one chalupa. I was so sick for that meeting. It was such a terrible idea. Such a bad idea. My dad used to make chicken and potato fritters. Potato slices and chicken covered in batter and cooked. Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah, make that. That sounds awesome. I don't know what a chip pan is, but everything about what you said is good. Yeah, and I'll continue to do weird reaction. We'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, after all. Today I'm having a meeting starting at 3:00. We have an hour now. I'm gonna sit down. So give me a second to sit down. Can't eat them often, but I do. Yeah, I know. Starch with butter and yeah. I've been a protein fiend lately. I've actually dropped. How much have I dropped? 30 plus pounds so far. So it's it's all about the protein, man, not the potatoes. Taco Bell is terrible. Taco Bell is terrible everywhere. Taco with a teaspoon full of beef and stuffed with lettuce. Oh yeah, you're right. 100% correct. I've done it again. What do you do with your diet? I eat protein. That's what I eat. My snack when I was sitting here eating was cheese wrapped in ham. It has to be something that is okay. So Girk, here's my personal rule: something that is moral, ethical, spiritual, philosophical. Okay, those are where I shine. Religious. Because if it's other than that, I will find it to be absolutely pointless. Carnivore. It's not. I don't know if that's a name. I tell ChatGPT everything I eat. And then it tells me I'm doing a good job or not. That's it. That's my diet. I don't relate. I said it. This is my goals. I asked it to ask me like a million health questions, and I answered all the health questions. And then when I was done that, I'm like, this is what I want to be. I want to be 200 pounds by reach. That's what I want to be. I want to walk in there, and I want to be 200 pounds when we get to ReachCon. Is it possible? Yes. Here's the thing. So every day. Pardon me. I eat a food. I tell ChatGPT this is what I ate, and it tells me the calorie count. It tells me about the other nutritional things if I want it, and I just do that. I've discovered my absolute love of protein yogurt. That's so good. I don't know if you guys have protein yogurt, but man, I love protein yogurt. Protein yogurt, and then you add some berry of some kind, throw in some mixed nuts and some chocolate chips, and I'm good. That is my parfait. I have a parfait almost every night because it's so good. Maybe easier to follow as a post in Discord in the food truck channel. Yeah, right? Go crazy. We have a food truck channel. Yeah. Super easy, just tedious to make. Oh, a lot of, yeah, you can't make it in the, I don't have a deep fryer. No, I have an air fryer. I would love that, Girk. Yeah, show me. Send it. I'll do what I can. A chip pan is a pan of boiling oil used to make chips like you get at a fish and chip shop. They used to be the cause of accidents, often barely used in people's homes. When frozen oven chips came along, chip pans went away. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I understand what a pan of boiling oil is. I understand making, chips on the stove. But when you're talking about frozen oven chips, like literally those three words together don't make any sense to me at all. Please, for the love of all is holy, make a short video about how ChatGPT saved your life through weight loss. It's not that hard. Like, I just found it's really nice. It's complimentary. It cares for me. It shows me, it encourages me, and I'm really honest with it. Like, today I ate this much because I was emotionally unstable. Today I starved myself because I felt bad. Today I ate this and I ate this, and I'm friggin' hungry right now, and I could eat the entire house. And I have a conversation with it as though it's my nutrition coach. That's the name of the conversation, nutrition coach. And it gives me advice and whatever, and encouragement and some, and that's what I do. And I was really worried about telling you guys, because every time I tell anybody, I immediately stop doing it. I fall apart, but I don't think it's going to happen this time, because I actually figured out some stuff to eat. Chips, fries. Yeah, okay. Yep. He's a really popular YouTuber. YouTube about a lobster in a tank so he can work his content. Oh, hold on. What? Shucks. My video review out the window. I've been thinking about getting some pets. Giant millipedes in a tank. Yeah, you said that. Nope. Never coming to your house. I've been looking at tanks and where to get them. They're really easy to look after. I wonder if I could how you'd react to a video about them. And with terror, with creepy, crawly terror that makes me not want to go to bed at night. I hate bugs. I hate bugs. YouTube of a lobster in a tank. Okay, sure. Hard to maintain the right temperature on, on a stovetop, and the splashing and some people have like gas fireplaces, and gas and bowls of oil don't work together. They just don't. It is now 2:00. Okay, it is now 2:00. Usually this is where I take a break, but I don't feel like taking a break because I stood for the entire time, and now I'm sitting down. This is where I would switch over to Destiny, but we all know how that's going to go. So here's the question. I'll throw it out to you guys, AMA style. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Ask me anything, any subject, anything. We'll get going. And if not, then I will go play Destiny. Then I'll kill chat, and then half of you will leave, and then I'll feel bad about myself, and it'll be all your fault. So there. Adopt a mountain lion, like the channel I Am Puma. A mountain lion? That sounds dangerous. They're fascinating, and they only grow to be 10 inches long, like walking over your hands. Nope. No. I can't nope that hard enough. Why are some people KGB only? Because they've been lied to and they believe lies. That's why. This for the same reason that people believe Trump is sent by Jesus to that he's the be all end all for all things. It's the same reason that people think that the pharmaceutical company wants to steal their children's teardrops to turn into vaccines for people in other countries. Like, it's just like there's people want to believe in special knowledge. Since the beginning of time, there have been people who want to feel special by believing that that they are special because of their knowledge. That's how that works, right? I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel like I'm in control. I don't feel like the world makes sense to me. I don't feel like I have enough power. How do I gain power and control and make things make sense? I'm going to find a conspiracy. That conspiracy doesn't matter what it is. Illuminati, Trump, the pharmacies, anything doesn't matter. You grab onto it, and for them, KJV. The big issue is KJV, and so because they're KJV only, that is the solution. That's why the church is the way it is. That's why these pastors are the way they are. That's why I don't have to go. That's why I can hate people. That's why it doesn't make any sense. That's why all these teachers are bad. That's why I don't have to read any books, because they're that reason. It is a convenient, well, sometimes not so convenient, but it is something they can hang their faults and their things on. As soon as it becomes black and white to them, life becomes so much easier. Like, it's once you live in the world of grays. Like, for example, in the world of grays, there is no perfect Bible in English. They're all flawed in some way, right? That's just the way that it is. So that's why we read a bunch of them and do good study. But in the world of black and white, there's one Bible. This is the correct one. This is the only one that you can use, and everything else is from the devil. That's just easier. It's easier to think about. And some people don't want to think beyond that. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to live with nuance. They want to live with their in a sense of uncertainty. Hard. Well, thank you for the follow there. Appreciate that. There is somebody said about pharmaceutical company not wanting to cure you because they lose their industry. Not a conspiracy guy at all. Just dumb. Well, people like money, and they'll hurt people to get it. That's true everywhere. True of government, and it's true of environmentalism. True of everything. People like money, and they'll hurt people to get it. And there's ways to do that. That's why we have regulations, in hopes of curbing some of it. Because they don't understand their KJV Bible. They're so fond of that it isn't actually the KJV Bible. Which one do they want, right? 1611? You want to go back? How far do you want to go? Why does your version have S's and not F's? You know, the real one has F's instead of S's. Destiny's free to play because it's the KJV. What? Sometimes people are told things, they just believe it and they don't think if it's true or not. Young people, especially, can be very influenced with their old peers. Yeah, it's true. Well, because it makes the world make sense. It's the same reason that you give me one sec there. I like the talk about why do people join these cults? Why do they join these groups? Why do they have peer groups? Why are they part of whatever? Could be church too. And the reason is because it gives them identity. It makes the world easier to understand. It answers some of their questions. It helps. It helps. We're not good alone. So sometimes you join the wrong group. That's why people join cults and gangs, because it gives them something they desperately need as a human, but in the wrong way. You look like you shout conspiracy theories outside the corner shop. That's outside. I don't go outside. But the shouting conspiracy series, yes, absolutely. I'll shout whatever you like. But usually I shout against the conspiracy theories. But no, I don't go outside. That's gross and weird. People shouldn't go outside. That's where the bugs are. And you know how I feel about bugs. Did you ban someone? Did someone get banned? Did I just answer somebody who got banned? I don't know. I do think you should question the translation you're reading, in the sense that who's translating. What's the purpose of the translation? They change, remove word. Well, of course you have to. That's the whole point of study, man. Like, you're supposed to study. You got to find a good teacher. You got to find a good group. You got to stay communicative. You got to submit to good material, good materials. Like, yeah, all that. Like, the people are like, the Message Bible is evil. No, the Message Bible is a paraphrase put out by one guy for his small group. That's what he did. And anybody who's like, this is the word of God, is it's not. It was just a tool for a group of people, and it caught on. That's it. That's all it was. Same with NIV. It's not from the devil. Is it perfect? No. It's. What I think is funny about with the KJV people is that if you read the KJV, like you read whatever the Bible is, and you ask them and you say, what does that mean? I don't understand. And they explain it to you in words so you can understand them using colloquial language. They have, by definition, retranslated and are now their own worst enemy. I was reading John in the NIV. Oh, sorry. Lack of understanding why my modern Bible translations omit some verses too. There are some manuscripts that are older and closer to the original text. Weren't known in 1611 when KJV was known. Yeah, there's way better scholarship. Way better scholarship now. Way more copies of the text. Way more experts and translations. And yeah, exactly. Heck, the Qumran wasn't even discovered anywhere close to then. Reading John in the NIV and got opened my eyes and I was saved. Yet someone told me NIV is from Satan. There's always someone, man. Sun is outside and it burns. Yeah, exactly. Well, don't go places that are going to hurt you. Why would you? And the sun will kill you with radiation. That's what? Outdoors, man. The worst. Some of the Bible versions feel like discussion of shibboleth and sibboleth. It kind of is. Except for the one group wants to kill the other one. Kind of true. Yeah, fair. You do know that if you take the NIV and remove the N and the I and the V and they add the A, yeah, it spells out Satan. Oh, dude, there it is. I mean, case closed. He's not wrong. How could I not see that before? Is KJV a good translation? Yes. Is the only good translation? No. It's a good translation. I mean, a lot of the free tools are KJV. You go, nothing wrong with that. Is it hard to understand? Yeah. Is it like going to be a bit of a slog? Are you going to need more tools? Yeah. Nothing wrong with using it. The NKJV is better, right? The ESV is even better. And they're children of each other, The best translation is one that you can understand, read, and digest. Kinda. Not necessarily. If you like it, doesn't make it better. Especially when it comes to scripture. That's how you get people changing the Bible to make it sound better. Or, deleting stuff because they don't like it. And, no, your feelings about it doesn't make it better or worse. However, if you read the children's Bible, International Children's Bible, and it's really helpful to you, good, great. But if you're like, I don't like the one because because it says things I don't like. I like this one because it says things I do like. That's bad. That's how you end up in a cult. Originally switched to NASB in university because the pastor at church was explain the KJV generally with the NASB wording, eliminate the middleman. Yeah, exactly. I did that with NIV to ESV. All the churches were NIV, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use ESV. I get it, but same thing. Couldn't find my Bible, so I got a new one. It was the only one available. It was pink. Good, got a pink Bible. What about message only people? That's like saying the commentary, right? Like it is a commentary on scripture. It isn't the scripture. And at no point would Peterson ever say, use this as your only Bible. Like the guy who wrote it wouldn't say that. So no, it allows you to see scripture that you already kind of understand from a different perspective. The best Bible is the one you read. As long as it's properly authorized and has good translation, then yeah. I wouldn't say that for the New World Translation. That's not the good one to read. Now you find a Bible. I've got a new one. Now you got a pink one. You can take that out for trips. The Message is an okay paraphrase. Read alongside the other translations. Exactly. It's not a translation. It's not a translation. It is a paraphrase. It's barely a paraphrase. It's almost emotive. Technically, the rest is original language, but I can't read that. Yeah. Yeah. That's why we have translations. I think using more than one translation probably best. If you're going to study, yeah. If you're going to read, find one that is good, like a good translation that people are using and your pastor says is good. But then, find one that is in the grade reading that you are. So if you're reading university level stuff and you're not able to understand any of it, back up. Go to NIV, go to TNIV, go back to the International Children's Bible. Nothing wrong with that, because that's good for reading. If you're going to study, you're going to have to pull out some other Bibles. They're hard to learn. They're not easy to learn, Sunshine, but there are lots of really good tools out there now. I mean, there are really good tools out there that are very trustworthy that will tell you what the word means. Just find trustworthy tools, then you don't have to learn it. I like ESV too. Yeah. The Good News Bible has a place in my heart. It does in a lot of people. I guess you were an Awana kid, right? Were you an Awana kid? My first Bible was the Message Bible, and I got a ton out of it, but I did eventually get different Bibles. Was it really? Oh, fascinating. The Linux Bible, right? Would listening to a sermon only be the same as only reading commentary? I mean, if you never read it yourself, then kind of, yeah. But the thing is, it's like getting a snapshot. Like it's like if, like, say someone's describing all of Disneyland, right? A sermon is like looking at a picture of Disneyland, where you're like, I kind of get it, but the experience you have in the sermon versus the experience you have studying it yourself and experiencing it yourself and being with a group and living out that experience is very different. Like, the sermon is meant to equip you. It's like coming to church, and they hand you a hammer, and they hand you a screwdriver, and they hand you a piece of wood, and they hand you a map. And then you go home and you take your map and your screwdriver and your piece of wood and your hammer, and you go put it in a box. Thank you, Pastor. And you go put it in a box. And then you come back the next week, and he's like, okay, here is here's a GPS, and here's a compass, and then you say, thank you, that's really great. And you go home and you put that in the box. And then, you come back, and eventually you're like, wow, I sure have a lot of tools. I am so tooled up. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe how many tools I have. And you've never actually gone and done it. It's those sermons that you listen to, in a very real sense, did you no good. The tools aren't doing you any good if they're just sitting in a box. You're meant to live it out. Keep an NIV for traveling. Love it. Watch a video on someone explaining why we need to be careful on KJV, that some words not mean the same. Yeah, that's true. That's true too. That's another reason for modern translation, because our words change. The Zachary translation is horrible. That's because it's written in emotes. Try using letters next time. Just time travel. I prefer to just time travel when Jesus delivered the sermons in the Gospels himself. And unfortunately, because he was speaking ancient Aramaic, I didn't understand that either. So yeah, that would be. You think he would talk to you? I've wondered about that. If you time traveled and you went back to Jesus and you standing on the mountain and you had the absolute, temerity to come walking up and be like, "Hi, Jesus," and he'd be like, "Hey, Al, how you doing?" Would he answer you in English? Right? What are you doing here? You're not from here. You go back to the thing. Go back to the shadows from whence you came. Okay. Back in the time travel. Time machine. Off we go. When I was not well, my brain was foggy reading NLT. I love NLT. NLT is one of my favorite translations. It's just so much easier to read, man. Yeah, no, I love it. I love NLT. All my red commentaries up here. These ones here. They're NLT commentaries, and they're my favorite commentaries by far. Very applicable. I like application. Currently reading through NLT Chronological Bible. Yeah, it's great. Serious Study Bible. I mean, it's good. It is good for what it does. But yeah, if you're gonna do word studies, maybe not that one. What are we doing? Church Minecraft? Yeah, we're avoiding Destiny until the meeting. What is the GNV? Geneva Bible? I think that's what it is. Wood is burning. The Geneva something. Yeah, it's something to do with Calvin, or the beginning of I think it predates the King James or something, right? I know, maybe not the Calvin thing, but I think it predates the King James Bible. What do I know? Nothing. I also like the pineapple version. In the beginning, there was nothing. Then God planted a garden and grew pineapples. The end. And everything was fine. Yep. Oh, right. The TARDIS takes care of the linguists. Yeah. That's true. You're right. He would probably scold you for time traveling back to see him and not, not to the future return. Fair. Why did you come this way? Because I don't know when the next thing's coming. I don't know what to set the time travel to. Okay? Saw a funny TikTok of someone time traveling and then and preaching, then looking over and saying in perfect English to the person, "You're not supposed to be here." Did you really? Oh, if you could find that, I would love to see that. That sounds awesome. One no crazy fact I've always passed, but never really knew. Jesus created his mom. I'm pretty sure you just said heresy, but I know what you mean. I'm actually 100% sure that was heretical, but I know what you mean. And you're heresy adjacent, but nobody can get the Trinity right. Nobody, no human being can. We're all wrong. We're all heretics when it comes to the Trinity. It's that meme with the Sermon on the Mount. As soon as you start explaining it beyond the Trinity, yeah, you're in dangerous territory. It's me with Sermon on the Mount where Jesus stops, look at the time traveler directly. It says perfectly finished. You should go home right now. I want to see that. That sounds great. Now we know what Jesus was doing when he went off by himself, lecturing Chrono. Bro, what are you doing here? First off, you're bringing diseases these people cannot possibly get. Second off, you don't know what any of them are saying. Third off, you're going to get diseases that you possibly can't fight. Fourth off, everything here is gross. You go back to where it's all clean. The 20th century is way better than this one, honestly. Just go back. I'll see you there, okay? I'm there too. What's up, Jones? Glad you're back. Guess you're about Chronovisor? It's all just a conspiracy, but the Vatican has a window into the past and the future. No, I've never heard of that. But I would totally play a game called Chronovisor. That sounds awesome. That sounds like a great mechanic. Although we did see that. Actually, that is in a game. Is that game is that? I think my son played it. It's you can see. You hit a button and you can see the future and the past at the same time as you wander through the exact same environment. And you kind of switch it with a thing on your wrist. Anybody ever play that game? I don't think modern morals could handle going back to ancient times. We'd be ill with what we witnessed. Oh yeah, it's bad. Anytime anybody says, "Would you want to go live back in time?" The answer is no. We've been trajectorying much better. Really, we have. Medical is better, technology is better, cleanliness is better, the safety is better. We're at more peace now than we ever have been in history of ever. Like, everything is better now. Everything in the past was worse. I don't think our modern morals could handle going back to ancient time. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Conspiracy TikTok took me down a rabbit hole. I bet. Boy, I can carry Jesus' words in my pocket. Yeah. That's the whole point. I have a headcanon where there's a heaven flicks and in heaven where we can watch all history with commentary by Jesus. What was happening there? Oh, okay, that makes more sense now. New anime title. I got reincarnated into the gospel. Times with my smartphone. I'd watch the snot out of that. How do you make the harem though? That would be you'd be in dangerous territory immediately. I would guess no modern person is immune to smallpox. Yeah, no, well, we're not immune to a lot of stuff they had. We'll live in the now time, but with slightly less technology. Maybe connectivity, not technology. Interesting take. No way. I love the tech that we have. I want more of it. I would sign me up, you know. Maybe not cyberpunk. That seems to be a bit too far when I'm starting to give up my eyeballs and my arms so that they can, you know, have lasers in them or whatever. No, I'm good. But I like all the tech, man. I really do. I'd have it all if I could. My house would be smart. I'd have robots, man. I'm thinking of a Jewish Christian went back in time before Christ's sacrifice to be obligated to follow the law as it is before. Yes, he absolutely would. He is now. No, Jewish Christian. Jewish Christian. Messianic Jew. I think he'd be able to be factored in under the David eating the sacramental bread thing. I think that's where he'd slide in. Not really for him, but it's still doing it right. Twelve disciples? Come on. They could do Jesus harem, Isekai harem was the 12 disciples. There you go. There's somebody, I dare somebody to tweet that. Jesus Isekai harem was the 12 disciples. Maybe don't do that. I'm not saying you're saying she's part of the Trinity, but yeah, I don't want to talk about the Trinity. It's not going to happen. I love the tech. We hate the negative consequences. Every piece of technology has negative consequences, man. All of them. They banged the first two rocks together. There were negative consequences. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could argue that the gospel is an isekai. Do not encourage this, right? Yeah, not a good idea. I agree. Yep. Probably not a good idea. Oh, my merino moss aquatic balls are being delivered tomorrow. Yippee! I had aquatic balls. I do love me some moss balls. They are cool. Yep, I had one as a pet. Nerdy Lego underwater little scene. Keep them. Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, I had a moss ball as a pet once. Moss ball. It literally is what it sounds like. It's a green ball that just sits in water. That's what it is. It's like a pet rock, but like actually alive. Nope, you're not sucking me in, wifey. Not gonna happen. Yeah, it's alive. It's moss. I think I will pump the brakes on this conversation. There's no way this doesn't go sideways. I just don't want to talk about the Trinity, man. Every time I say anything, I'll be wrong. And then I have to use the word hypostatic union, which who wants to use those? Oh, why saying that Jesus made Mary is heresy? Because it doesn't take into account the persons of the Trinity rather than yeah, that's why. It matters. The living plant, not sure you're on the taco Discord. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Go to the thing channel. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, we are so off the rails right now. But between the buns, it's just 3 small. Nope. Everything you say will be wrong. The cherry pie that's divided on the top, but everything is mushed together on the inside, still wrong. Apple core, or apple with core, skin, meat, wrong. Egg, wrong. All close, all wrong. There's no way to do it right. Egg, like yolk, white, shell, all an egg. Apple, meat, skin, core, all an apple. Still wrong. Helpful-ish, but also wrong. Feel free to Google that later. In fact, I'm gonna rate out. It has gotten so troublesome. I'm gonna take a break. That's how far we're off the rails. So I have a meeting at 3:00. I'm gonna be going into the taco Discord, and I'm gonna be talking with the taco trainees. Anybody who's taking the class right now is invited to come. We're gonna be at the taco trainee Discord. I imagine probably the what do you call the alumni could probably be in there too, right? If I'm not wrong. I think the alumni could probably come if they wanted to. And that way we're going to have a chat and we're going to enjoy, we're going to just kind of see what's going on. I think taking a half an hour and eating some lunch wouldn't be a terrible idea for me right now. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. Am I having the FOMO? Yeah, it's a good class. It's a good class. Yeah, modalism or polytheism. Exactly. There's just not a good one. Hey, you should have been in the class. You just didn't sign up soon enough. That was your mistake. It was missing the first week, because that class fills up fast, super fast. I got that. See, if you ever not in the Discord, check the announcements. You got to live there, man. You miss them. You miss an announcement. You miss a lot. All right. Well, I'm gonna raid out. Thank you for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow I will be having some weirdness. Tomorrow we will be playing an indie game that you've never seen before. And it's gonna be good. I apologize to the people who actually did want to watch Destiny. I think it was Jeff, right? Yeah. Probably Girk too. But I think we did well. I think we did good here. Good has been done here. I'm going to now raid out to, you know what? I don't know. Anybody got a suggestion of someone I've never raided before? Otherwise, I'm just going to raid Devoria. Yeah, I'm going to raid Devoria. She's cool. Okay. I'll see you guys. I'll see some of you in Taco in a half an hour, and others I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Nope. Did I do that wrong? Did I wave again and then hit the button wrong? 1 second. That was meant to be really, really cool. Try again. Bye.